What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television on a Happy Victory Monday. How do we start off this show as we always do on a Monday, Wednesday night, and of course, sometimes before and after Bucs games. Three things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about on tonight's show. We will have the great Rock Riley of his great podcast, The Rock Stops Here. Great stories. I want to hear what he has to say about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Also, the Devin White situation. What's his take on that? And then on top of it, this guy's been hanging out with Hulk Hogan and, of course, Derek Brooks. So I want to hear some of those stories for him. And then at 9:30, we're going to have Mr. Jay Buc himself. That's right, the fan that got the ball at Lambeau yesterday from Mike Evans. We'll hear his story. And then, as always, we'll take your phone calls, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Not only will we take your phone calls, we'll read your text messages. And, of course, I got to get my co-host on here. You Greekites, you love them. So here we go. Handicapper extraordinaire of the sports web, Mr. Harry the Greek. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television on a Victory Monday after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Green Bay Packers 34-20. Welcome. How you doing tonight, my friend?
What's going on, Peter?
Doing great, buddy. Doing great. Getting ready to get the great Rock Riley on. Rock, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Fine. Towards the end of the football season here, man. You kidding me? I wish it would slow down, but everything is good.
Yeah,
the Rock, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. The Greek, how's the Greek tonight, man?
The Greek's doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. When I heard you were going to be on, I was like, I can't miss tonight. What are you kidding me? My buddy The Rock's going to be out there.
Thank you.
All right, so let's start it off here, guys. And let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think it goes to Baker Mayfield, right? I mean, he had a day yesterday. In fact, the first opposing quarterback in Lambeau Field history to have a perfect quarterback rating, leading the Bucs 381 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Rock, your thoughts?
It was his best game as a Buccaneer. It might even be his best game as an NFL quarterback. And all along, he had been telling us, we go in, Wednesday is the day that he talks. Every NFL starting quarterback talks once a week. Sometimes it's Wednesday, sometimes it's Thursday. Bowles is on Wednesday first, then he comes in, and he's always telling us, we're close. It's the little things. We got to play a complete game. And he admitted it, that the offense, especially the offense, they finally played a complete game. Now, here's the thing. It was great. It really, really was. He's playing for a job. He's a starting quarterback at $4 million. And it's hard to find decent starting quarterback.
That's what the incentives, $4 million.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. So he knows if they're going to bring him back, he's got to be paid. I had heard from a former NFL head coach. I'm not going to say his name, but he was saying that they're going to have to pay him. That he thinks that Bowles is doing a pretty good job with what he has got. Remember, there was $50 million over the cap and going into this year, really what they have. He thinks Bowles is doing a good job. But my thing is, they started 3-1. Baker was getting some love. Oh, what happened to the turnovers? Oh, is Baker Mayfield going to be the guy? Oh, he's got to replace the GOAT. He was on Game Day, ESPN, the Red River Shootout. He was on the Rich Eisen show. He did Stoops' podcast. It was all Baker Mayfield. And then the team and he regressed. Yeah. So now he's getting the love again. Colin Cowherd, who he couldn't stand Baker Mayfield. He's like, they got to pay him. All these talking heads, rap sheet, from NFL Network, big discussion, he's their quarterback. So how do they respond after he had his best game? They've won 3 games in a row. That's what I want to see. Is this their high mark, or are they going to continue now?
Where do you stand on this with his performance for the year? 24 touchdowns. What is it? 8 interceptions. In fact, if he throws one more touchdown, he actually matches Tom Brady from last year. So you would take that in a heartbeat. And then having less than 10 interceptions, I get it. The Bucs have had their struggles, Rock, but where do you stand on re-signing Baker, or do you have to wait out the season in your opinion?
What I was told, that the jury was still out as of about 2 weeks ago. They're still trying to figure it out. Yeah. There was a lot in play on, were they going to continue to lose and have a top 5 pick and then go after one of the stud quarterbacks? Because if you get a rookie quarterback, you're set. He's under that rookie contract. Then you can build around him. So, but I know that Jason Light is like, he's been around. It's hard to find. Especially veterans. And he's 27 years old. It isn't like he's over the hill. He's not 31, going to be like a Mike Evans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they were like, you know what? Let's see how this plays out. Now, I have not been able to talk, really kind of get the word from those in the know as of the last 2 weeks. They've been very, very quiet. They've been like, we're playing for something. Bowles keeps saying, a lot of the players are repeating what he's saying. This is the craziest year. NFL is parity. There's more parity now. And Bowles had to put it right. I think it was last week. He's like, what's an upset? Mm-hmm. Everybody is knocking everybody off. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what does it matter what you did in week 3, week 4? What are you doing now? Are you playing good football? The Buccaneers are looking better. The arrow is pointing up. So there's still a lot in play. I believe, and then Bowles today, boy, he was raving about him. He was saying that I like everything about him. I liked him when he came in. Players like him. He is what he is, but he's playing his best football. So I would think that if it stays kind of this way, that they will look to re-sign him, and he loves it here. His wife says she's never seen him happier. He loves it here. He loves the offensive line. A lot of times during stretching, he's over with the offensive line, not with the offensive, speed players or anything like that. So he loves it here. They like him, but I also believe that they want to get, they want to get that next quarterback, and most likely will try to draft a quarterback as well. That's the way it looks to me right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a possibility for them to draft a young quarterback, although if they continue to win, you kind of doubt if they're going to get one of the top quarterbacks. Here, you got a question for Rock?
No, I got some comments, but he can always jump in. I mean, Rock, it's in a happy world, Baker the cupcake maker, I like to call him. Look, I love Baker Mayfield as a quarterback, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. Go back and watch the tape. This was one game. It looked great. These previous games leading up to it, he's not going through his progressions correctly. He's getting late on the balls, and I understand it takes a little bit of time to click. If they do sign him, first off, they're going to have to match other teams' salaries. One, where's the attrition? This team doesn't have that kind of money to spend to it. So that's the first part of the question. I'd like to follow it up. Where are they getting this money from to sign him?
Well, you have to have a quarterback. Do you honestly think that they would just go with, okay, you're saying that, okay.
No. I'd like to see Baker.
Yeah.
Let's just hypothetically say this team wins the division, which they more than likely will.
Right.
What in the world's going to happen, and what kind of money is this position going to require for Baker Mayfield if they beat a team in the playoffs in the first round?
Yes, but you know what? They know that you're going to have to pay a starting quarterback decent money. They're not going to go with Kyle Trask as the only guy, and maybe so.
Where are they going to get the $50 million a year to do it? Because that's what it's going to cost.
Well, I'll say this: it'd be like $25 million.
$20 to $25 million if he goes to the playoffs and wins round one.
Yes,
guys,
I think
seriously,
that's the market, guys.
Danny Dimes is the market at $40 to $50 million. We're talking about the former number one overall pick in the National Football League in a particular draft. I'm telling you now, if they got him for $25 million, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the best general manager ever in the existence of football. I'm a realist. I'd love to see him next year as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, but where's the money going to come from? That's my biggest reservation and concern.
Well, to your point, the cap is going to be in better shape, and then furthermore, the cap goes up every year. There's always inflation to it, right, Rock?
Right.
It is, but I don't know. You're the first guy that's telling me that he is going to get $50 million. I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where that is. You just said that he's had one good game.
If he wins a playoff game is what I'm saying, Rock. They're going to win a division. Okay, the division, you said it best. There's so much parity in football. When the Chicago Bears had a chance of making a playoffs, all they had to do was upset Cleveland, and a couple of things happened. There's some serious parity going on in football. Tampa just so happens to be in the driver's seat. They're tied right now with New Orleans, but they own that tiebreaker. It would take a miracle for this team not to make the playoffs. What I'm saying is if they hosted a game and they won a playoff game, and Baker Mayfield was one of the big reasons why, of course he's going to demand that kind of money. I mean, he bet on himself this year, okay? I reported this with you earlier in the year when you and I were talking before then, and I think you were on the show, and I predicted that Baker Mayfield might be a Buccaneer.
Yeah,
because you and I were speaking saying, why did they bring Tom Brady back last year? Because he didn't want to play for the organization, but they forced his hand into it. They did really good by bringing Baker in. They got him for a steal, Rock. But what I'm saying is if he wins a playoff game, you don't think that he's not going to be worth 40 or 50 million dollars, but the guy in New York's getting paid that kind of money?
No, I still don't. I still don't. That was a mistake by Danny Dimes. It really was. I don't think he is even if he wins one playoff game, I don't think he goes from 4 million to $50 million. I just don't.
No.
And he loves it here so much and likes Canales and likes everything about it that I don't think, yes, he's going to want his money. No doubt about it. But I think that they would find a way to be able to afford Baker Mayfield and still get a young quarterback in the draft. You know what? I will do some homework because I'm over there 3 days a week, and I will try to find out if they're worried about that he would cost them 50 million and they would have to let him go. I don't know if there's going to be that big of a market. There probably will be, because believe it or not, up until right now, I wasn't so sure that other teams would try to get him to be their starter. Honestly,
Yeah.
like you honestly, because you said
he's really proved a lot of people wrong this year.
No,
And I supported Baker because I said what they did to him in Cleveland was a travesty. Okay, you're taking a quarterback of his caliber and what he was going to be able to do on the football field, and the guy's a gamer. He gets hurt and he still wants to play. The guy had a lacerated kidney, for Christ's sakes, and they're pushing him out in the game because he wants to play. Are you kidding me? They almost ruined his career. Then he went to Carolina, had a couple of decent games. They got rid of him. He went over to the Rams. I remember that game just as good as it was yesterday. Pete asked me who I like between him and Seattle. I says, I'll take Baker and the Rams. They have never seen him. And they ended up covering from a 14-point deficit. Not to try to get off track, but he's gotten back on track here in Tampa. Okay, especially with this game. And he's got this team in the driver's seat to make a playoff run. All I'm saying is the man has filled up to his obligation. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have often showed that they will show loyalty to people that do well for them, and they will pay them.
Yeah.
My question is where's that money coming from? Pete, you can't just turn around and tell me that, well, the cap is going up. Bro, they got no money.
Well,
I don't know how they can afford that. I mean, you can't afford Godwin and Evans at the same time.
Well, listen, first and foremost, the cap is going to be in a better situation because it was $75 million of dead money, right? So from
Correct.
the Tom Brady deal, all that stuff is coming off. They're still going to have some dead money. And then furthermore, they're most likely, Rock and Harry, going to move on from one of these corners, possibly a Dean or Carlton Davis, because they've underachieved. And of course, they got Zion McCollum. So there are definitely ways to make this happen. And then furthermore, we've seen the Bucs and Jason Light and Mike Greenberg and everybody over there, Miss Jacqueline Davidson, do a great job and how to restructure deals, right, Rock?
If they want him next year,
they'll get him.
What they will. Well, what they'll do is they'll allow him to see, and they will try to match. They will try to match. And if the Greek is right and it's going to be 50 million or more, and then all right, then you know what? If they can't afford that, then I don't know. We will see. We will see. He was very inconsistent with the deep ball. Yes, he has toughness. He is a great teammate. They love him. They love him. He's done a great job. It's helped the offensive line. Now, if you look at PFF's grades, the Buccaneers are a top 10 offensive line. Most of that was thanks to Baker Mayfield. And it's helped now. They've gotten their running game going a little bit. Rashad White, they're blocking better.
Oh, it's amazing what happens when you actually have a balanced attack. Hold on. 29 passes, 28 runs equals what? Victory. Not 45 passes and 15 runs, Peter. It is a lot easier to run block than it is to pass block. That's a little dig at my counterpart over here, but him and I's got a little war thing going on. You know why I also think, Rock, it's going to cost a little bit of money, and you might actually say, I got a point.
Okay.
How many teams in the National Football League right now are playing backup quarterbacks? And how many teams do you think are going to be looking for a quarterback next year? They're going to be going up against, I say, minimum of 7 ball clubs that are going to be interested in Baker's services.
Minnesota's one of them. I'm not disagreeing with you. Let's see these last 3 games, because if we did this going into this game, we wouldn't be talking as much. He was incredible. He really was. It was his best game by far. But there was a lot of times prior to that. And what are they going to do with Mike Evans? That's another one. He's had a great year. He has not shown that he's slowed down, but he's also going to be 31 years old. He wants big money. I had someone tell me last week, he said, the Glazers want that gold jacket. They're going to pay him top dollar in what he wants. And I was like, well, that is a good point. He'll be the next Hall of Famer. That'll be it. It won't be until probably Evans and Levante David. Yeah, they like the gold jacket. Yeah. But you know what? They let Warren Sapp go. He went to Oakland. They let Derek Brooks. They did not. He wanted to stay, and they said, no, we're done.
At the end of their careers, though.
Yeah,
they said, really toward the end.
Yeah, look at John Lynch. John Lynch was a Pro Bowler, went to Denver. They let him go. He's got the gold jacket. So I don't think that they're going to pay Mike Evans because they just want him as, with the gold jacket. But there's a lot there. Look, Godwin, it depends. Every week we talk, like right now, Godwin had a really good game. But
yeah,
Godwin,
3 weeks ago, they wanted to throw Godwin off the team, the fans.
Well,
5 weeks ago, everybody's jumping off ship with Mike Evans. Look, it happens like that in every major city and every team that is around in the National Football League. You go 1 or 2 games that aren't really good. Peter's smiling because he wants to kill me, but it's the truth. The fans are so fickle when you're not producing, they want you off the field.
I mean,
2 weeks ago, Chris Godwin's wife is making comments on Twitter.
And listen, if she doesn't make those comments because
stop. If you're going to tell me that's why Chris got the targets,
I'm telling you right now, if Mariah Godwin doesn't make those comments, he's not the focal point. And I'm telling you, that was
my God, I can't believe you said that.
That was a blessing in disguise. We're on with Rock Riley here, the Rock Stops Here podcast, of course. Pissing me off.
The Rock stops here, baby.
That's right. And my co-host here, Harry the Greek. Yes, that was a blessing in disguise. I mean, what do you make of that whole situation? A lot of people said that was kind of a distraction, not a good look. But you know what? Godwin yesterday was the old Godwin, and they also, Rock, used him in the slot, which is what they should have done for the whole year, in my opinion.
All right, there are a couple of things there. You are right. You can say it isn't a distraction, but it is. I had a former player tell me, he's like, wow, when a wife calls the head coach a liar in the media, does that happen with Belichick? Would that happen with Arians? Does that ever happen? That happened. And when we got in the locker room, it was the elephant in the room. And then we're asking other players like, well, hey, because they're seeing that, they know that. And Godwin came over and we're like, what's the over-under? Godwin's even going to talk today. This was the next day after that happened. And he was over with the PR person. And then I saw him come over and he stood in front of us. I was like, whoa, I am surprised because he didn't even practice that day. It could have been like, well, I didn't practice today. I don't want to talk. And he answered. He did tell us that there was no malice in when Todd Bowles gave his answer. Now, he also is going to back his wife. And I got to tell you, this is funny, guys. I saw a comment from a Bucs fan. He said, 2 weeks ago, Baker Mayfield said, or 3 weeks ago, we got to get, I want guys in this team to get pissed because when they were playing bad, I want guys to get pissed. And somebody said, the only one that got pissed was Mariah Godwin. And it certainly seemed to help. I thought that was hysterical.
Yes, of course it is. I told you.
So it is a distraction. I mean, because there could have been repercussion from that, Pete.
But there wasn't because this locker room is still playing for Todd Bowles. And with that being said, I want to go back to Mike Evans here. What's your sense? Do you think that they're going to re-sign him? Is there going to be a limit of money? Because I think he's probably the greatest offensive player. He's going to go down as the greatest offensive player in history. He's already a Hall of Famer. What he's
not
done,
even close.
James Wilder. A lot of people say Mike Allstott, but Mike Evans right now. What's your sense, Rock? Do you think he gets re-signed by the Glazers and by Jason Light?
Before the season, even when I saw how mad he was and he didn't get it, and he goes, I'm not going to talk about it the rest of the year. And the whole season, I've seen him, and he just has not seemed happy. He was the first one off the field. Sometimes when we're there at Raymond James Stadium, not only is he the first one off, the whistle hasn't even, finished. And he used to always talk to us once a week, no more, this and that. And then he's slowly come around. He's not. don't get me wrong. He's not selfish. He's not diva.
Yeah.
If he only has 3 catches and 54 yards and they win, he is about winning. But he also knows that, like, the numbers that he has produced, he wants to be among the top paid receivers in the league. But again, like I said, he's going to be 31 years old. And like Harry is saying, where is all this money going to come from? They're going to want to re-sign Baker if they do. Yeah. Tristan Wirfs is going to come up. You don't want to have a young tackle like that, a Pro Bowler.
Linebackers.
You're going to have to pay some guys. So they love him. They love him. Jason Lennon, they love him. But if it comes down to it, man, that's a lot of money. And usually guys don't get faster and better. You're paying
the older
them
they get.
They did.
Yep.
So that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
All right, I'm going to put you both in the lobby right now, especially you, Harry. Get in the lobby. There you go. Rock, stand by. We're going to go out to what Todd Bowles had to say today about Devin White, and we're going to come back here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Here we go.
Because of the Devin White situation, you told Devin yesterday that KJ Britt was going to start, and
did I?
I think you did.
No, I didn't.
You did not.
Devin told me Friday he couldn't play, or Saturday or Friday he couldn't play, so KJ was starting. That was the end of it.
It wasn't in response to that.
No.
Is KJ Britt your starting linebacker moving forward, or is it Devin White?
When Devin gets healthy, we'll rotate the players and see how it goes.
Were you surprised that Devin said he couldn't go, considering he had been practicing up to that point?
No, not surprised. I get guys all the time. I mean, Hayes got sick on the bus. He couldn't play. I mean, you go with a guy's gut. If he tells you can't go, you go with the next guy and you play.
All right, welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's go out to Harry. Let's go out to Rock Riley. You heard those comments, and that was Scott Reynolds and I believe Greg Allman of Fox Sports there, but especially Scott, kind of challenging him because the report was that White was told that KJ Britt, was going to start over him. And then basically he went to coaches and staff and went to Todd Bowles and said, I'm not going to play. And now Todd Bowles is kind of, what's he doing there? What do you make of this whole situation with Devin White and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I believe that there is more to it. Richard Sherman on his podcast, who was here and was in defensive meeting rooms and still has friends on the defense, said that he was told that Britt was going to start. And once Devin White got hurt, heard of that, was like, and he's not 100%. Okay. He has had foot injury. No, I'm not going to go. If you're going to have me rotating in and out, I'm not going to play. Now, and I believe Bowles is protecting his player and not telling all of it. It is true that his foot is not 100%. He probably did say, I ain't ready to go. Then we're going with KJ Britt. He did go on the team plane and he went there. I will say this, and I remember this as clear as day when I was in that locker room when Ryan Fitzpatrick was the starter and Jameis Winston, he got suspended with the Uber driver. Remember that? And he came back and he was he was number 2. And I saw him in the locker room and usually like the starting quarterback, like I say, they speak once a week in front of everybody. He was just over at his locker. Nobody was talking to him, kind of moping around. We said, can we talk to you? We went over there and he's like, yeah. We said, he goes, man, it's hard. I lost my job, I want to start, but I'm behind Fitzpatrick. And we said, were you ever benched for non-injury? And he's like, never in my life, never in baseball, never in football. He was a superstar from Little League, Pop Warner, all the way through. Devin White, guy's been a superstar. And all of a sudden, KJ Britt has been taking his place. And guess what? He sees the film. KJ Britt's been doing good. KJ Britt's been making all the right moves. Now they're talking about, man, you know what? You're not 100%. We might be rotating in and out. And he doesn't know how to deal with that. That's an honest to God thing. He has been a superstar his entire life. And now he might be rotating in and out. So that's what I think. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, Bowles is lying. Then, he's protecting his player. He's not going to tell.
I have mad respect for a coach that wants to do that. Mad respect, Rock, because you know what? It needs to have enough of that. I mean, I think Todd Bowles plays that line right in the middle. He doesn't lean like a Ditka and a Belichick, but yet he's not as so conservative. Well, yeah, he's pretty conservative, almost like a Lovie Smith, I'd probably say. But I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Couple games winning here. Everything seems to be going really good here in Tampa Bay. Prior 4 or 5 weeks, everybody's calling for Todd Bowles' head. What do you get to say to the people and the fans that are watching this program? Do you like him? Do you support him? Do you want to keep him?
I do like him. I know that I have been in locker rooms when the Buccaneers were 4-7. I did not see, sometimes you see division. Sometimes you see some players, there's clicks, starts happening. One guy's kind of bitching and moaning. Other guys are kind of following along, and it starts to snowball. You might even see that at your jobs if you're in a company. One guy's complaining about the boss is, and things are going bad, and you kind of start listening, like, man, this is kind of bad. Yeah, they're screwing us over, man. They're not giving us enough time off or this and that. I didn't see any of that. I really did not. But I was concerned of some guys are good coordinators and they're not good head coaches, because his record overall from the Jets, 1 game below 500, and then they were 3 games below 500 here. I was honestly starting to think, but you know what? Right now, they're in, like Harry said, like they have a very good shot at winning. And I don't know if you saw the video of the Glazers outside the locker room yesterday. Supporting them all and actually giving him that hug. So let's see how it ends. We still have 3 more games to go. Do they just give him, and they're probably, what are they, do they bring him back for 1 more year? You're going to have the same offensive coordinator, I think, Canales, because Canales has told us, he's like, I am still learning. And what he told us this last week going into this game, he's like, the one thing that I'm learning is opposing defensive coordinators, man, they got a lot of film on us. They are taking Mike and Chris out. We can't come up to the line of scrimmage and give them the same look that I've been teaching. We're going to have to switch it up this week. And he did. So I think he's he's doing a good job, but he's learning on the fly. So do you go another year with Canales, keeping him here, re-signing Baker Mayfield, get a young quarterback, see where you are? Or do you just blow it up? Do you just say, you know what? No. So I don't know. Right now, it looks like maybe he comes back. He
would have to, Rock.
Yeah,
he would actually have to come back. Again, same thing with Baker. This is my own analogy. You make it to the playoffs, he gets another year.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't the Chicago Bears when they fired Lovie Smith after 10 wins and going to the playoffs, okay? Come on. This is Tampa Bay. It's a little bit different type of organization. Not God forbid. What happens when this team, I keep telling you this, they make it to the playoffs and they upset someone in the first round?
Yeah.
How do you get rid of Todd Bowles? I'm sorry, people that are out there watching this who don't like the man. How do you get rid of him? You can't.
You can't, because if they run the table and go 10-7, like yours truly and the co-host over there kind of said that at the beginning of the year, they go 10-7 and you win in division. And look, if you get Philadelphia in the first round, the way Philadelphia is playing, anything's on the table. You got a running game. You got a
You're pedestrian. Let me tell you something. The Philadelphia Eagles, remember when we go back to that game and they ended up getting beat? And I turned around and I said, the Buccaneers don't even bother, taking them with the points. I think they beat Philadelphia straight up. I still stand by it. That week, if you would have lined that team up the next day, I still believe Tampa would have beat them. Philadelphia is a very pedestrian team. Watching the film on this team, they are so suspect, especially to the pass. It's unbelievable. You're not running the football on them. You have to run against them because you got to keep them honest. But as far as Philadelphia is concerned, their secondary, it's pedestrian. It's nowhere near as what it was from the year before. They actually match up very well. Yeah. Tampa plays very good against very mobile quarterbacks. I will tell you that.
All right, I'll tell you right now, Rock. We're really quick because we got to get you out of here. We got a Jay Buc coming on. The fan.
The Rock can't hang out a little longer.
Yes.
8 months.
No.
Listen, he can hang out as long as he wants to,
I
but
want to give Jay Buc his due. That was great. He got a lot of publicity.
Well,
that was awesome.
I'll tell you right
Jay
now,
Buc.
to me,
Yeah.
Jay Buc. There you go. There's
There
the
he
fan
is.
right there, Mr. Jay Buc, one of the great Bucs fans out there. And I will say this: I met this man in 2017 at Ferg's. We were doing radio together, and Rock, you know about that radio station. And he asked me, what's the key to radio? What's the key to doing it? And I said, be yourself. And certainly, my man over here has been himself. Congratulations on the ball. Introduce yourself if you don't know Rock Riley there, Jay Buc.
Hey, how y'all doing, man?
I don't even know him, man.
A pleasure.
What up? Hey, thank you, man. But hey, everybody, this is your boy Jay Buc, 525, aka Jay Boogie, coming to you by any means necessary. Everybody know it's a Bucs life. Fire them cannons, horse the flags. We love it when the cannon go boom. And shots out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization, our players, coaching staff on an amazing win on yesterday in Lambeau Field. So, yeah, got to pay homage to the team and the organization and our players.
Well, I tell you right now, hang out for just a little bit here. I'm going to keep you into the show. Rock, you were hanging out with Hulk Hogan and you were hanging out with Derek Brooks. You got to give me a story before you get out of here, unless you want to hang out a little bit longer and talk to Jay Buc.
Terry Bollea.
Yes. So I'll tell you what, Hulk Hogan just turned 70 years old.
Stop it.
He looks fantastic.
Wow.
Now, at the event at the Hard Rock, Ric Flair was there. Ric Flair's 74 years old. He looks it. Like he, woo! He was great, but he looks woo! There you go. Joe Theismann was there. Joe Theismann is 74, same age as Ric Flair. He looks fantastic. But on Derek Brooks was still talking about his Buccaneers. He was believing that they're still going to be able to make that run. He's still mad about FSU. He's not over that, not being able to be in the college football playoffs. I don't know if you guys are aware, but he works for the Tampa Bay Lightning full time. He works under Jeff Vinnick. So he's very busy, believe it or not, in the Lightning organization, but he's doing great. Yeah, Derek Brooks. He's been working because he was the president of the Arena League, the Tampa Bay Storm. Correct. Remember they had that there, and that was under the Jeff Vinnick umbrella, and then the Arena League went bye-bye, and Vinnick loved what Derek Brooks was doing, so he's like, you're staying on with us. So he does a lot of things for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I know he would love also to work for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it's really, really cool. I had that on my podcast, The Rock Stops Here. And then I have Doug Flutie on. That drops tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh, he is just
one of my favorite athletes, Rock, of all time is Doug Flutie.
Got a chance to interview him a couple years ago before the Super Bowl and talked to him about mobile quarterbacks and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, and even asked him, Rock and Jay and Harry, that, do you think he could play in this league right now? And he said, I would love to play in this league because the rules, that are instituted to protect quarterbacks, especially mobile ones, would definitely favor me.
He was amazing. He left, he was in the NFL, and then they thought he was too small. He goes up to the CFL. He had 8 years there. Look at his numbers. He has records that are still being held. Then he comes back to the NFL. Then once he retired, he also plays hardball, baseball. Oh my God, he's unbelievable. He's 60, turned 60 years old, and he's still playing baseball against guys that are 30 years old. He also plays men's hockey. He's a drummer in the Flutie band with his brother. They play classic rock and roll. He's got a Batman car that he drives around. He lives on the East Coast, and he's just such a good guy. So it was a real good event, and everybody was so nice. Everybody was cool. It was cool. It was cool. Well, what I have found doing this podcast, The Rock Stops Here, all those that have made it to the top, and then what's life after. Everyone that I have interviewed over the last 2 years that have made it, the bottom line is they're all good people, not jerk offs. If you are a jerk and it's hard enough to make it in this league, just be a good person. And that's what I've found. And John Daly was great. We were leaving. I said, what's your secret to success? Because he likes that. And he goes, have fun. And he goes, we're getting too old to be worried about all the little crap. forget about anything like that, man. Just have fun.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting interviewing these people that have made it. Just be a good person. Be a good person, man. And don't worry about the small stuff and stay away from negative people.
Rock, if Doug Flutie, oh my God, if I was able to ask him one question, nobody on this panel other than you would remember this. When he was playing with the Bears, they were playing the Washington Redskins at the time, and it was the third play from scrimmage. I'll never forget it. I was at the game. He snaps the ball. I'm going through his cadence. He snaps the ball, and before the ball gets snapped, I think it was Dexter Manley. He come around the edge. I mean, the referees are blowing the whistle. He takes him and he clotheslines Doug Flutie and slams him into the turf. I thought he was never going to get back up. He jumped back up, got back into the huddle. I still think that's why the Bears ended up losing that game, because he just, in the back of his mind, he just remembers getting hit. The hit was so egregious, Rock, that in today's game, they would have been thrown out.
Wow. Tough as nails, kind of like a Baker Mayfield type. You know what I mean? That toughness. I'm only 5'10", and I swear to God, I know they might have listed him at 5'10". I think he's like 5'8".
Yes.
So, and how he was able to make it. So
what a cannon for an arm, too.
Yeah. Cannon arm, mobile, could do it all, and he would definitely work in this day and age of the NFL. Rock, you got a question for Jay Boogie here, Jay Buc, because I want to talk about this story really quick. If you guys want to hang out and hear about this story, but what's going through your mind here? We got Rock Riley on, we got Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper extraordinaire of the sports web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Jay Buc here. Tell us the story, how you react to that, what's going through your mind when you get the ball from Mike Evans.
Oh wow! Oh, I don't even know where to start. I mean, it was a very surreal moment, something that I guess I never imagined, ever happening. Now, as you all know, I'm this diehard Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, been a fan of the Bucs all my life, pretty much. Tampa Bay Buccaneers is all I know.
Right.
And, as a fan, I never imagined, me being in the position, today of, supporting the team in ways, beyond imagining, and traveling is one of them. And I say all of that to say, as a fan, we always think of, these little dreams or these little moments that, man, I wish one day this will happen. And who in their right mind wouldn't want a game ball from Mike Evans prior to the game?
What did he say to you when he gave you the ball?
I can't. Well, of course. So as far as what he said, I have to walk you through.
It's almost 10 o'clock.
What I know, but I got to walk you through what actually happened to get to the point to him saying what it is that he actually said. So, needless to say, as we know, the Bucs was driving on offense, and of course, in my mind, I'm like, what if Mike can get one? If Mike get one, I'm going to try to get this ball. Literally 2 seconds later, Mike running up the field, break inside the end zone. Baker finds him, makes the connection. So at that point, I immediately ran down in my red boots, ran down the aisle. I was sitting 5 rows up behind the north goalpost. And then while I was coming down, if anybody that's ever been to Lambeau Field, they kind of have this white rail kind of at the end or at the forefront, of the front row. So where I was sitting, that rail was actually the entrance for individuals, entering to and from the field. Mm-hmm. So there was an opening there, which when I ran down, I was using that rail to try to support me leaning over to reach out for the ball. Well, I did not know that the rail was not secure.
Oh, no.
So by me leaning over the rail, I ended up falling past the entrance, which, of course, is an area that's not permitted to fans. Mm-hmm. So all of that simultaneously happened while Mike was coming to give me the ball. So when Mike handed me the ball, he was trying to make sure that one, I was okay. And that's where I ended up giving him what we call it a dap, or giving him a high five or whatever. So all of that happened at the same time while the security guard was trying to take the ball. So to answer your question, what he said was, "Hey man, you good? Are you all right?"
Oh,
Because
God.
I'm assuming that he noticed that I fell while trying to get the ball, pretty much.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, thank God you're all right. That's a cool story. Did security
Yeah.
give you too much crap because you accidentally fell through?
Yeah, so even when I got the ball, it was a portion of it that did not, go over so well. So I will start off by saying, that the security guard was doing his job. The area that I ended up falling or landing, of course, was not an area that was permitted to fans. So again, in his defense, I didn't realize where the security guard was standing. I don't know if he noticed that. Actually, he didn't notice that I fell. All he saw is that I was in, an area that wasn't permitted to fans. So he was doing his job. I'm gonna be humble enough, to say that he was there to do a job. His job was, I guess to protect the field, protect the players, whatever the case may be. So he proceeded to take the ball to let me know that it was his understanding that fans wasn't allowed to have the ball or whatever the case. So while he was trying to take the ball, of course, he was the security guard. There was a police officer down on the field, so he kind of cued the police officer to intervene. So when the police officer that was on the field, or sheriff, whatever his position was, when he intervened, he kind of explained to the security guard that, well, a player actually gave me the ball, which allowed me to have access to keep the ball. So what I've learned that typically, just so it just so happened that, say, for example, if it was an extra point or a field goal that actually went in the stands, then the fan would be permitted to return the ball. But I guess apparently if a player actually gives you the ball, that opens the opportunity for the fan to possess the ball. So that then turned into the security guard requesting for me to be escorted out of the stadium, because at the time he was under the impression that I entered a zone that was not permitted for fans. So Green Bay fans, being absolutely amazing, was letting the security guard know, like, no, he did not purposely access that area. He literally tripped and fell, in that area. He was not trying to enter the area, So shouts out to the Green Bay fan base that was over in section 101 and 102 that actually spoke up and defended me in that moment. I will say, I won't say exactly what Mike said on the field. However, I will say that Mike Evans defended me as well. I will say that much. But that then led to
you to the security guard.
Yes. So I won't say exactly what was said in that moment, but I will say that he defended me in that moment. But then of course that prompted an investigation, where the some additional officers came, got the security guard version of what happened, got my version of what happened, and the police officers, kind of let me know, hey, you're not going anywhere. You're going to remain here. You're going to enjoy the game, enjoy your ball. Then they kind of joked about the red, boots or whatever. So they did their best, to make light of the situation. Of course, it's still, they had to do something called the incident report, because I still technically was in a area that wasn't permitted to fans, but they wrote up an incident report. But outside of that, so it was
nothing personal, man. The elephant in the room is this: security's giving you an issue. They need to make an incident report because you fell. That railing wasn't secure. All I'm saying is, that could have went really bad for Green Bay's organization, because you could have gotten hurt, and if you did, there could have been some liabilities there. Rock?
Well, I just want to say, Jay Buc, that I'm so glad that you're on here and telling that story, because we all saw it. I saw you fall. And then on social media, on Twitter, on X, there was one radio host in Tampa Bay said, "Hey, man, I don't care about the rest of this game. I want to know what happened to that fan. It looked like the security guard was not letting him have the ball." And then, sure enough, on social media, there was a shot of you. It was kind of blurry. You were walking. It looked like it was outside, and you had your ball. And that radio host said, "Thank you, Twitter. You did your job. I can go to bed now." That Buccaneer fan had his football. I think that is great. And Mike Evans, I don't know if you're aware, but a couple of weeks ago when he dropped a pass wide open in the end zone and it was an away game, he told us that he was looking. He goes, I got to concentrate more when we get in the red zone. I was actually looking to who I'm going to give that ball to.
Bro.
That's how cool Mike Evans is. So I'm wondering if he already had his eyes set on you. It probably happened so fast, right, Jay Buc?
It happened so
He had to. You got some
fast,
guy
like-
running down with his boots looking like a maniac. Of course he got to see him. Hell, we seen you from the house.
and then it happened so fast. I mean, I'm kind of lost for words right now, because I mean, literally, I was there with my cousin. Shouts out to my cousin and fellow Pirates Untamed member, Contessa Dorsey, and she would vouch for me. I literally said, it'll be amazing if Mike would score on his drive, and if he do, I'm finna run down. And before I finished the sentence, literally, Baker was launched the pass to Mike Evans. I said, "Oh, he finna catch it," and I immediately start running down
That's a great
the
story.
aisle. So while running down, I'm literally saying, Mike, and lo and behold, I end up falling. So I mean, everything happened so fast. It literally felt that if I had to put a time on it, it literally felt like 3 seconds. Like it happened so fast.
Jay Buc,
You know?
one more. What was it like going through security? You flew back, I'm assuming, to TIA, and
Yes.
did you carry the football with you through the airport and everything, or did you have it?
The only time that football left my possession is when I had to put my stuff through TSA. That's it.
Awesome.
Other than that, me driving my rental car from the hotel to getting gas to the airport, that ball was in my possession the entire time. Me walking through security, that ball was in my possession the entire time.
Yep.
If I didn't have to put it through TSA, through security, I literally would have went through, holding the ball. When my stuff got through security, the very first thing I grabbed was that ball. When I walking through the airport to my gate, I could tell you gate with D43, I had the ball. So while riding on a plane, I had the ball. Going to the bathroom, this ball will not leave my possession anytime soon. Excuse my language. Excuse my language, but goddamn it, it's goddamn Mike Evans. I mean, this ball is not leaving.
Hey, Jay Buc, I got one thing to say to you. Hold that ball up. That's a memory right there. Hold that ball up. That's a memory right there, brother. You will never, ever forget.
Beautiful.
And you know what?
Ever.
I hope that security guard's watching. Kiss my ass.
Well, and I will say this. And like I say, I will be. I'm humble enough, and I'm mature enough to say.
Thank God it was you up there, not me.
I mean, the security was doing his job. He wouldn't have did anything with any other security. Would not have done, despite, personal opinions, I can acknowledge that he was doing his job. But I was able, to go and have a conversation with the security guard. I can't remember his name, but, I explained to the security guard, sir, I understand you were doing your job. I promise you I was not purposely trying to access the air. And he was like, you know what, I know, upon further investigation, talking with other people, but it just, in that moment, I just had to do my job. So we was able to shake hands. We actually took a photo with each other.
Guard?
So with the security guard, so at the end of the day, it ended on an amazing note. When all of it happened, there was a brief period where, it didn't feel good. I fell, I bust my butt, so I'm like, well, dang, I didn't know what was being recorded, or then it was the exchange, with the, security guard and with the police, offer, so any time when something like this happened, you want to have that magical moment, like, oh my God, I got a Mike Evans, ball, and it didn't work out, that way initially. So, after, I guess the confusion, I guess it's the best way for me to label it. After the little 15, 20 minutes of confusion, eventually, in the support of, my cousin and the support of the Green Bay Packer fans, I was able to come around and realize, like, wow, I literally just got a game ball, from Mike Evans, so.
Jay Buc, if you ever get in a position like that again, I speak Chicago and Wisconsin. I'm originally from up there. All you need the next time you go up there, just keep a couple of brats in your right pocket and a little pint of brandy. You're good, bro. Trust me, man. Trust me, you're good. What do you mean? I'm okay here. Here's a brat. It's got cheese in it, all right? Some cheese curds and a pint of brandy. You're all good, brother.
Wow. Well, someone actually recommended cheese curds, so
if you've never had a cheese curd, you got to have some. But then again,
I did.
we're also talking to the guy
amazing.
that's putting ketchup on his hot dog over here, okay?
Shut up and be quiet. Enough of you. All right, Rock, we'll get you out of here on that. Any final thoughts here on the evolution of sports talk television, my friend?
No, I'm just so glad that, the Buccaneers are playing meaningful football right now. It's going to go right down to the wire. I wouldn't count out New Orleans yet. They had a pretty good game last week. And so all in all, man, here we are at Christmas and the Buccaneers are still playing for the NFC South title. It's all good. It's all good. And I honor to meet Jay Buc. Always a pleasure, Harry and Peter.
Nice to meet you, Rock.
My pleasure.
Rock,
my pleasure.
You're the man, Rock. Seriously, thanks for coming on tonight. It's always a good time. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you not make it another 8 months?
All right. You got it.
No 8 months. We'll have him on. We'll have him on next week. Rock Riley, the Rock Stops Here podcast, Hulk Hogan, Derek Brooks, all these celebrities out there. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Good stuff there for Rock Riley. We'll come back here with Jay Buc. I don't want to neglect the webhead, so you know how this works. Not only are there open phone lines, I
want to let my boy over here know that I know a really good attorney. Falling down, you got a couple of dimes there, bro.
Well, listen, we're gonna keep him on. But
my back hurts, just like that TV commercial. Help me! I've fallen. I can't get up. You ain't taking my football.
Right, like Jamel fell down against San Francisco.
That would have been like hot potato. Here you go, honey. Grab it. Take off. Go.
All right, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to the comments here. Saints and Bucs game in 2 weeks is going to be epic. We'll start out with that. It certainly looks like it is because Jay Buc, you know this all too well. We hate the Saints.
Hey, if I wasn't on your show, I would say some things that I have no business saying, but
No, go ahead. It's 10 o'clock, bro. You're good.
Oh, fuck the Saints.
There you go. There you go.
Saints. Hashtag doo-doo that nation. BKA Caesar Stupid Dome. I cannot stand the Saints. However, I do enjoy their food.
Well,
their food is amazing.
I'll tell you
see,
what.
when you come out here, Denise, I could bring anybody. I could make a priest swear, but that's okay. Good.
All right. So you stand by here, Harry. Thanks a lot. Let me go out to Adam here, leading it off here on the Evolution. What do you have to say? You're on with yours truly, along with the Greek and, of course, Jay Buc.
Hey there, Peter. You know what I'm going to be talking about. Harry.
Yes, sir.
You know that Peter and I were talking about what we expected and got from the Bucs
against the Packers. Yes, that's what he's saying.
Did Harry not say that we were absolutely bonkers and out of our mind. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, he did say, I will be fair to Harry, he did say we were bonkers and out of our mind to think the Bucs could win this game, but he also said if the Bucs did run the ball and did show some balance.
Hold on. Let me repeat exactly what I said.
Yes.
You have a very good memory. It's called selective memory, but good, albeit. I said if you play a balanced attack, you can beat anybody in football. Not were my exact words.
I will repeat that.
If they are balanced, every win that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have this season have been 50-50. Period. Every loss that they've had, they pass the ball 40-plus times and run the ball 12 to 15 times.
Yes.
So what was going to make me say that this team was going to have any kind of a different result? Look, man, I am not a Tampa Bay hater. I am a realist. I'm a professional handicapper who's been betting on sports
You said that. You did say that. Yep.
For the better part of 37 years. I see a lot of things that what Baker Mayfield is doing. Hell, you're the same fans that wanted to throw Mike Evans off the team 5 weeks ago when he couldn't catch a cold. And then the same thing with Chris Godwin. Oh, no, hold on. The fans were doing that. But you know what? That's just natural because when you're not producing, they don't want them to do anything. It was a great win by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are in first place. If they win out, they can't be stopped. Support your team. My question to you is this. You're right. I did say that. Are you a Todd Bowles supporter now?
I always was.
Perfect.
There you go. There you go. He's a supporter on this. Jay Buc, let me come out to you here. Where do you stand on this offense? Because me and Harry have gone back and forth. I feel like lately I think the defense has been the biggest problem. And I'll tell you why. Because I expected this offense to struggle to a certain degree. New offensive coordinator, new quarterback, new offensive line.
Yeah.
And you have leaders on this defense who hasn't necessarily played up to their level, namely a Devin White. So I say the defense has been the biggest problem. Harry goes, the offense has been the biggest problem. Where do you stand on this, Jay Buc?
No, I'm going to go with you on this one, Peter. I feel that the defense is the problem, especially as of recently. Because my thing is, look, with the offense, I expected, some struggles with the offense. Like you said, a new offense coordinator, we got a new quarterback. Even though we have, yes, we have Mike Evans and we have Chris Godwin, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, it takes offenses, a little longer to, develop more so than defenses. But when we look on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, even though we've had a lot of loss on the defense, but we technically still have key core, players, from a defense that's 2-3 years removed from a Super Bowl. You still have your Shaq Barrett, you still have Vita Vea, you have Levante David, and I understand, the whirlwind that we in right now with Devin White. You still got your corner, you still got Antoine Winfield, who I arguably feel is not only having an all-pro season, a Pro Bowl season, but I think he should be a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. So you still have certain key components of a defense, and with the head coach that was, the previous defensive coordinator. So I really expect the defense to be, a lot, further along than previous weeks. So
Jay Buc, do you know that this defense is a top 10 defense in football right now? Did you know that?
Well, they may be in the red zone.
How about that?
Well, but they're still
getting top 10 defense in the national. Listen, I know they're giving up a lot of yards.
Yes,
they've been banged up.
Big plays,
but they're giving up a lot of points.
Yes.
And
really? You score more than 20, you win.
And Harry, isn't our offense in the top 10 now?
You know what? I don't know that stat yet. I haven't really pulled that up yet, but I can't tell you for certain that this defense is a top 10 defense in the National Football League.
My point is,
we've got a great combo. Then we've got an offense that's almost top 10, a defense that is top 10. Where's the problem?
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if the offense is top 10. That's pretty interesting.
Top 10, but we knew that the
offense has got to be toward the bottom of the league. Jay, what do you think?
Well, I think the offense is going to struggle. That's what we knew coming into it, and I expected more from the defense. But to be fair, the defense has caused their fair share of turnovers. I just don't think consistent pass rush has been their forte. And then furthermore, that has kind of, left the back end out there to dry, if you will. And Carlton Davis, he's been inconsistent. Jamel Dean, I expected more out of him coming off a contract extension. When your best linebacker on your team is still Levante David, which is not a bad thing, but he's 34 years old compared to the supposed linebacker that's going to get a contract extension and he's younger than him, and Levante David is still the best guy. That's a problem for me. So
let me tell you something. I'd like to have that problem. There's about 20 teams in the National Football League would love to have that problem.
Go for
it. A 30-plus-year-old guy still playing linebacker. What do you mean go for it?
I'm
paying compliments to Levante David. This guy's playing out of his ear hole. Unbelievable play.
Right.
Oh, Devin White?
Yeah.
You remember the conversations you and I have had about Devin White.
Sure. Okay, but I think he's regressed ever since that year of 2020.
Well, they figured him out. They figured out the fact that you get a guard on him, he can't separate, and he doesn't do any good against rub routes, and he couldn't cover a tight end if he tried.
Yeah,
that's the problem with Devin White. But north and south, east and west, let me tell you something. One of the best linebackers in all of football against the run and going after a quarterback. Why they haven't utilized him this year correctly? I know what it is. That's not the problem. It's not coaching. It's up here. It's all in Devin's head. You can watch him from week to week to week to week when you're breaking down film, and you are correct, Pete. He has regressed significantly. But you know what? That light bulb will turn on. If hopefully it turns on this year for him, because the Buccaneers are going to need him for the playoffs. I'll tell you that right now. I'll take him over your second string linebacker on a healthy and really, a guy that's got his mental stability going. Let me tell you something. He's still arguably one of the better linebackers in football when he's on his A game.
But the problem is he's not on his A game. He's not and he does not want to be here at all. I would take a guy like a KJ Britt who's going to show effort, maybe. And even Todd Bowles has said this, from sideline to sideline, he's not as athletically gifted as, a White. But here's the thing. He wants it. He wants to form tackle. He wants to cover. He wants to put himself in the position to be the next starting linebacker of this team. I hope Devin White doesn't come back to the starting roster because I don't think he deserves it. I don't think he's played like it. I think he's been completely checked out ever since his offseason.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
and
it is.
You and I talked about that in the offseason. We feared that could possibly happen because if you remember, the negotiation stopped and he wanted to get paid. Y'all remember that, right?
Yep.
Very, very similar to what Tom Brady did to this team last year when they held him hostage and said, hey, I don't want to play. But they held the man's hand to the fire and said, you got to play because you under contract. Look, man, there's not one player, not even the GOAT, that is above the team. Jay Buc, you'd have to agree with that.
I agree 100%. I agree.
Right. There you go. All right, Adam, thanks a lot for the call. Anything else here on the evolution?
Yeah, Harry, I wanted one opinion question from you.
Okay.
We're talking about the offense. I want you to compare the offense at the same time mid-December last year compared to the offense now. Do you feel like this is an offense that's improved upon last year's offense?
Well, yes, that's a great question. To be honest with you, the difference from what I've seen from last year to this year is you're now starting to see a progression of trying to run a football. And I personally think you have a quarterback playing better football than you did last year. Dare I say that? Might get some hate mail over it, but that was pretty brutal to watch last year, especially some of them games that Tom Brady was playing in.
And I think that the 2 months that he was not in pads practicing, it had an impact on the team that, during the playoffs, they were about where they should have been, right around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I think that impacted things. So I just wanted to see if you kind of shared.
I see a big difference in there. They have statistically gotten better this year over last year in almost every category offensively. I think Peter and I were discussing this like a week or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember if it was you, Peter, or not.
No,
but it was some really, really good points that were brought up. That's a great question. But let's be honest, it's not really going to be that hard to progress versus last year, even though it was Tom Brady that was under center. He didn't want to be here. Okay.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that. He just did not want to play football.
He was going through turmoil at home. He was going through a divorce. I just don't think he wanted to play last season. He just didn't.
Yeah,
You're correct on that. But as far as the team is concerned, look, this team could regress offensively that quick. All they got to do is get away from this running game. The proof's in the pudding. If you run a balanced attack, this team will win because they have to respect the running game, even if they're not gaining all the yards. Because Pete and I have had some major heated discussions about their offense.
Yeah.
Look, it's easier to run block than it is to pass block. I don't care if you get 200 yards on the ground. You've got to run the ball 25 times a game in this offense. And if you do, with arguably two of the better wide receivers, I didn't say the best, two of the better wide receivers in football, you really have to respect that play action pass, which, by the way, Baker Mayfield does a really good job with the play action and hiding it. But here's the key. Last year versus this year, I could count on one hand how many times I would see in a game that the safeties and the DBs were peeking into the backfield. They never bid on a play action. They just didn't bite on it. And they weren't really doing it this year until they committed to the run. Now, I haven't done this Green Bay game yet, but I promise you, you're going to see corners and safeties doing this almost every single play, unless it was in an empty backfield.
All right, good stuff, Adam. Appreciate the call. Use that second call if you want to, my friend, okay?
No, you have a great night, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, let's go out.
Take it easy, Adam.
Phone lines. Let's go out to Damn It, Jim. Welcome to the Sports Web. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek and, of course, Mr. Jay Buc. You got a question for him?
Yeah, what up, Jay Buc, man? I'm kind of a fan of you, man. I like your story. You're a good fan, man. You go
Thank you, man.
You keep it real, man. What your stories, man?
Well, that's what we love here on the Sports Web. We love people that keep it real. So
thank you, man.
Yeah, man. All right, Jim, what do you got?
Yeah, I was saying, when everybody was stressing out, a lot of these fans out here stressing out, I said, yeah, believe in Todd Bowles. I like him as a coach, and he ain't no big big dude running around coach.
Right.
But you don't know what they doing in the locker room, so.
That's true, Jim. I tell you what, let's hold on a minute. Jay Buc, where do you stand on the Todd Bowles, and where do you stand on a Baker Mayfield? And we'll get out to you, back out to you here, Jim.
Oh man. Where I stand with I'll start with Baker. I will say this in regards to Baker. Baker is playing at the level that I thought that he would play this year. He's had his ups and he's definitely had his downs. In my opinion, he's had a little bit more ups than he had downs, in my opinion. But I can't negate that he had the downs. The downs for me is more so it was a period where I felt as though it was taking him, too long to make reads. There were times where I felt like, the throws, wasn't accurate. But I like the fact that, he is, protecting the ball. Things start to shift to me, as, the Greek said, when we committed to the run more. So for me, things kind of went more on the up and up the past 4 or 5 weeks. And in my opinion, things changed, once Aaron Spinning was solidified as the start at the guard position. But as far as this year, I'm just curious to see, how the season is going to end, if we're going to be able to, to win the South, but the jury is still out for me as it relates to Baker Mayfield.
How about Todd Bowles?
Todd Bowles, on the other hand, you all said it best earlier, and I'm just going to piggyback off of some things that you all said earlier. If we somehow finish out the season winning the division and contingent on, if we able to get a first round.
So if they don't make it to the playoffs, is he a coach here next year?
No.
Okay.
No.
If he makes it to the playoffs, is he a coach?
Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
Okay. Now hold on. If he wins a playoff game, how do you fire him, man? I mean, honestly,
I agree.
You
I
can't.
agree with that.
You can't.
There's no way. If
they ain't gonna love Lovie Smith his ass like Chicago did. They just ain't gonna do it.
No.
If Todd Bowles, if he wins the division and somehow, actually, you know, I think if he wins the division, regardless, I think he gets another year. If he wins like you said, if he wins the first, you know, playoff game, I don't see it's
Especially
not going to
if it's
happen.
Philadelphia.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. No. Well, and I'll tell you why it's not going to happen, because guys, if Todd Bowles shows improvement over last year, which is a team with Tom Brady, say whatever you want to, but that was an 8-9, 8-10 team. If you get 9 to 10 wins with a first-year quarterback, a first-year offensive
coordinator,
never called plays and shifted offensive line, I think you bring them back. Jim, what's your confidence there? Yo, go ahead, Jay.
I just want to add this, and my thing is, and this is my opinion in regards to Todd Bowles and the issue that I've had during the course of his tenure. It appears to me that this Green Bay game was the first game, in my humble opinion, that all three phases of the game played well and came together. It's too many where it's too many situations where the defense is playing decent and the offense not clicking, or the offense is playing, you know, fairly well and the defense not clicking. And then on top of that, you know, I don't think enough conversation is being had about Chase McLaughlin, Kamar, our punter. I really think that we have some talented special teams. So it's too many times, and I'm even talking about last year as well as this year, where all three phases of the game just does not come together for Todd Bowles. I think this Green Bay game is, my opinion, the first time where all three phases of the game came together. So that's where I'm at with Todd Bowles.
Great win on the road. I will say that. I know we still have a caller on, but I just want to put things into perspective. Last week, Green Bay gave up 200 yards on the ground against the New York Giants. Yes, the same New York Giants that won like 4 or 5 games in a row. They stink.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that is a hard victory to grab, and especially the way they did it in Green Bay. Don't base this season because they beat Green Bay's defense, which by chance is extremely pedestrian. Tell me if they play a team like the Cleveland Browns or even the Baltimore Ravens with a defensive line like that, and I will show you exactly what kind of offense you have. But you know what? This defense Tampa has can also stifle teams like Cleveland or Baltimore. But don't get too overly excited about beating the Green Bay Packers. Get excited because you've seen a complete team. And complete game effort. That is what you want to say. The good Lord, you can only beat who's on your schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. You can only beat who's on your schedule. Next man up is Jacksonville. By the way, very dangerous team. They're in a must-win situation. Now you're going to see a little bit difference. But also, same type of team as Green Bay is. Defensively, very suspect. Tons of talent, not playing very well. After that, who do they got, Pete?
Well, and they got the New Orleans Saints, of course, and then they got the Carolina Panthers on the road, and Trevor Lawrence, Mr. Sunshine himself, Sunshine on my shoulders, may not play in this game because of concussion protocol. Jim, let me ask you, where's your confidence level right now with this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team after yesterday's victory?
You know, I'm an all-time fan, and I always like Baker Mayfield, and they're getting it together, so I say they're going to finish out the season undefeated, if you ask me. I'm
all right.
bad.
I like it. 10-7. That's what we predicted here on the Sports Web, Jim. I love it. Good stuff there. Let me go ahead and give you the Macho Man.
Yeah.
Use that second call. Damn it, Jim. Thanks a lot for your call here on the Evolution. All right.
Thanks, Jim.
All right.
Let's go ahead. Go out to the phone lines here. Jay Buc's on. We got all these phone calls. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Eric from Lakeland, Florida. What up, Peter? What up, Jay?
What's going on,
game,
Eric?
Man. Big game, man.
How you doing?
Yo, Jay, man. Every time I'm at the game, man, we're dapping up, man. It's like, what's up, man? This will be a big game. Hopefully, be the Saints, sweep them. Jags game, it's an AFC game, so if we lose, I would like to win. It's gonna be a good game.
No, it's a must win. It's a must win.
Yeah, to me, it's a must win. Let me ask you, Eric, where's your confidence level right now with this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team after they beat Green Bay on the road with Baker Mayfield having his best game as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer?
I'm pretty confident.
Okay.
Let's see if we can take it back home. We've been a better road team, but we have Jags and Saints at home. I feel like we just need to beat the Saints, and I think we have the division. And hopefully the Saints lose on Thursday, and then we beat them, and then we're pretty much
playing
in.
this week.
They're playing the Rams on Thursday.
Oh, the Rams. Yeah, they play the Rams.
This is an easy game. If Tampa wins, New Orleans loses, Tampa's on cruise control.
Yes,
Yeah,
I believe
and then we
Tampa
beat them
Bay.
on New Year's Eve, then we clinch.
Yep, absolutely. Good stuff there. All right, Eric, where do you stand on Baker Mayfield, and where do you stand on Todd Bowles? These are the questions of the night.
Baker, everyone was hating on him, saying, "Oh, put Trask in." You know, I mean, everyone has a bad game. You know, he's gonna throw some picks.
Yep.
But he's silenced the doubters a little bit, Peter.
He's definitely done that. He's definitely done that. First perfect quarterback rating in Lambeau Field as an opposing quarterback.
Had a great game.
Yeah, pretty
great
amazing.
win, especially on the road in Green Bay. Great win.
Yep.
Well, Peter, you said that was Baker Mayfield's best game as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I'm willing to argue that's probably was the best of his career.
It's of his career. That's his best game.
Of his career. Yeah.
Statistic-wise, I would say.
And listen, it could have been Joe Barry's defensive system. It could have been the fact that Green Bay's defense is god-awful, but I think it's too easy.
They're not god-awful. They're just not playing like they should be. And that was pretty apparent in what happened against the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to put things into perspective that way. But then again, the NFL doesn't stand for National Football League. It stands for no logic.
Exactly. Exactly.
And a lot of things like that can happen.
Because
I mean, come on, man. How many people out there thought that the Carolina Panthers were going to honestly beat the Atlanta Falcons?
Nobody.
Besides being a homer, only homers would say, "Oh yeah, they're going to beat them," because that's what you wanted. You just got the division handed to you on a silver platter and said, "Here you go, Carolina." Let me tell you something. People should be thanking for them. They should be thanking them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Eric, appreciate the call. Anything else here on the evolution?
Good call, Eric. Thank you.
Go Bucs.
Yeah, go Bucs. Let me go ahead and fire
Go Bucs.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Open phone line. I don't have to ask too much because here we go. Here comes another phone call. Welcome to the Sports Web. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of this show, and of course, Mr. Jay Buc.
Hey, what's up? It's Jeremy from Tampa, Florida. How you doing, Peter?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you doing?
Thrilled, man. 3-game win streak, beat the Packers on the road. I mean, it's a great day in Tampa Bay, if you ask me.
It is a great day in Tampa Bay, going all the way back there to 95. It's a great day in Tampa Bay, or it's a new day in Tampa Bay. Okay, I'm not going to hurt everybody.
I like that.
with my singing voice there, because that was an old.
Oh, Peter, I think that sounded really good. Keep
Thank
going.
you. I appreciate it.
I have to agree. I have to agree with that.
There you go. I appreciate that, guys. I'll go ahead and
hang on. Hold on. I'm going to make Peter full screen. Go for it, Peter. Go ahead and sing it.
I'm not singing anything. Get out of here. You're an idiot.
Shut up!
All right, let's go back out to our phone caller here. Jeremy, you're pumped up about this team. How confident are you going forward here with the Jaguars, the Saints, the Panthers? Do you think they can run the table? How confident are you at this point?
I mean, if they play the way they did yesterday, I mean, who would be confident in what they can do?
Right.
Jacksonville, to me, are pretenders. I don't care about Sunshine. That's him.
Yep.
You know, I don't care about the Saints. I'm with Jay Buc. Fuck the Saints. and let me ask you this, Jay Buc. I've been meaning to ask you this. Watching your team play this whole season, you're a true Bucs fan. I respect you for that.
Thank you.
You know, I've been to many tailgates where I've seen you. What the Buc tailgates? You know, seeing your party, hanging out, vibing with Bucs fans. So I want to say congratulations on getting the game ball, well deserved.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you get to finish watching an awesome game as well. But let me ask you this, as a real Bucs fan, okay? It's been bugging me for the last couple months. If you want your team to lose for a draft pick or for a quarterback, do you feel that's a losing mentality when you want your team to lose?
Good question.
You answer that.
Good question. It's a good question. I mean, is that a losing mentality because the onus before the season is this team wasn't going to be very good. In fact, Vegas had them at like 6.5. So a lot of Bucs fans were kind of saying Caleb Williams, collapse for Caleb, go out there and get a Michael Penix. Is it a losing mentality if you're a Bucs fan to hope that they can lose so they can fire the coach and eventually draft a number one quarterback? Is that a losing mentality? And you're
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Now, and I'm gonna be transparent right now. The only time I feel I had a losing mentality was in 2014, and that's only because I feel that the precedence was set. That we were going to tank that season for a number one draft pick. But I mean, as a fan, and this just has absolutely nothing to do because I travel, travel to away games. It's just I just don't foresee me ever being that fan of wanting to tank any seasons for this reason. I just, outside of what maybe Peyton Manning, I just don't see where that has been effective. I mean, maybe the Cincinnati Bengals, got a Super Bowl appearance with Joe
Burrow.
Joe Burrow, but outside of that, Kansas City never had to tank a season to get Patrick Mahomes. The Philadelphia Eagles never had to tank a season to get Jalen Hurts. We've won both of our Super Bowls with free agent quarterbacks, so I just don't, again, outside of Peyton Manning and maybe Eli Manning, I just don't see where that has been a proven a winning formula. So
he's right. I mean, because you get a Josh Allen and he's playing well right now, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee you a Super Bowl. And then furthermore, drafting a first round quarterback doesn't always guarantee you. But I understand where Bucs fans are coming from because Baker Mayfield wasn't playing well. The offense is struggling. You're thinking you got a stopgap quarterback or a journeyman, so you want the new toy or you want Kyle Trask in there. I understand where Bucs fans are coming from, but I feel like, as Bucs fans, we've been through this so many years, through so many bad years, and we were wanting that playoff appearance, and now you get close to the playoffs and you're saying, playoffs? I don't want any playoffs. I want a first-round quarterback. I want the coach fired. It's not going to mean anything. Wait a minute. No, it does mean something. You get to the playoffs. You win your division. That's the goal. I mean, every year you want to win a Super Bowl, but you have to also be realistic, as my co-host would say, as he's a realist, that you're not necessarily going to win a Super Bowl every year. And it's crazy, to think, well, I'm not satisfied with the playoffs. So are you guys that spoiled that you got Tom Brady that you think you're going to win the Super Bowl every year? That's just not realistic. So, Jeremy, what about
Go ahead, Jay Buc. Speak, bro.
No, and I just want to add that, let's keep it real. Our organization is associated with too much losing.
Right.
So
sure.
I mean, I was that kid that was kind of born and raised through that 14 double-digit losing season. I was that season ticket holder, for at least 10 or 11 of my years as a season ticket holder, where I was a part of that 13 straight no playoff appearance. It's just entirely too much losing associated with this organization. So I just feel let's come across wins. Any chance we get. Is it fair for look how much losing associated with Levante David, and Levante David is finally at the point of his career where he's actually able to win divisions and win a Super Bowl. So at the same thing, whatever for Mike Evans. So like no, I'm never gonna have, as a fan, never gonna have that losing mentality. I'm gonna always want our team to win.
All right, Jeremy, what else?
No, I mean, you pretty much made my night, bro. 'Cause let me tell you, I've been into it with Bucs fans on them getting mad when we win a game barely. To me, if you win, a win's a win. I don't care how ugly you get. You go out there, you play your best football, and you win the fucking game. Pardon my French. Sorry.
It's all right to work.
No, actually, that sounded like English.
Well, speaking a lot of French tonight, Jeremy, it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and give you the air horn. You're exactly right. This is not the NCAA committee where you have to put on a beauty show. Your win is a win is a win, and you always have a chance if you have a backup quarterback or not. That's why you got to love the NFL, because you get a chance to play it out. Jeremy, thanks a lot for the call. Use that second call if you want to, my friend. All right?
No problem, man. God bless. And like I said, thank you for having me on. Like I said, Jay Buc, you're the man. Harry, appreciate all your honest opinion. And Peter, you're a good man, bro. I enjoy all
No problem, man. Great phone call. Thanks for
Appreciate
calling
you,
in.
as always.
How about them Bucs, baby?
I'll tell you what, let's go out to this guy really quick, and then we'll get out to the phone lines. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, welcome to the
There's my boy.
Ray.
Stand by here. Unmute yourself, please. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the sports web.
Yo, this is Trevor.
What's going on,
How y'all
Trevor?
doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, buddy. How are you doing?
What's up,
I'm
Trevor?
good, man. Jay Buc, man.
What up, Trevor?
I'm so happy for you, man. I was watching the game at the house, and when I saw you get that ball from Mike Evans, man, I was excited for you, man. So
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Trevor, you seen me bust my ass?
I did, man. But you know what? I would have done the same thing if I could have got a ball. I ain't panicked.
Okay, who's doing the any cockle do?
Yeah, who's doing that? What is? Where is that from? Is that
That's got to be
Harry.
Ray.
Ray?
It's-
Not you,
it's-
bro.
No, it's Monday night. I'm just after work having my highlight over here at the Wawa in Bay Pines. I forgot, Harry, that these roosters over here, they get mad.
Oh, wait a
They
minute. That's
tear it
right.
apart.
You're the one at the Bay Pines, right? Yeah,
Oh,
check it out. Check it
wow.
out for real. Hold on, Ray. I'm going to go to you. Oh yeah, there he is. There's the rooster.
He's mad. He's
You
like
got
mad. But yo, I gotta say, Jay, there was so many great plays yesterday, but that was the number one play of the day. And it wasn't just because, brother, no, it wasn't just because it was Mike Evans and that started setting it started intimidating. It started setting the tone. But
I can't believe.
Hey,
You know what?
Tell the rooster I said thank you.
The rooster's going. Eddie Cockle do.
Oh,
hey,
Yeah,
there was
go ahead, Ray.
there were great plays, and that was just one of them. And I didn't know you'd fallen at the time, but I knew you was in, and I saw Mike take care of you, and then I was able to get you live.
Come
And
on,
I was
rooster.
like, it was so great because here's what it is. The representation that we guys do, the Bucs fans are traveling and they've done, especially this year, and showing up in Green Bay, win or lose, but being there and representing, and then having that moment and having that become an iconic part of the game, and having it been you, brother, it made my day.
Oh, that was hilarious. When I watched it, I was like, "Is that Jay Buc?"
yeah, I knew it.
I'm like, "Oh man!"
I knew from the mask here. Let's
Yo,
go.
I know him.
Yes, so let's go back out to the caller here. Let me ask you this, my friend. How confident are you in your Tampa Bay Buccaneers after the big win against the Green Bay Packers going forward versus the Jaguars, of course, the Saints and the Panthers? How confident?
I'm very confident. I mean, people can sit there and say, well, the Packers defense ain't this or that. Let me tell you, it's hard.
Right on cue, baby.
Exactly. Go ahead, Trevor. Sorry about that.
It's hard. And, you know, Baker went out there and put out his best performance. And I'm going to tell you, the biggest thing I was really impressed with was how he was able to spread the ball around to get everybody involved.
Yes, sir.
You know, like most of this season, he has a strong connection with getting the ball.
So I'm
around.
talking. I'm sorry.
It's good because you need to throw the ball to
Yes,
him.
sir.
More receivers. But yesterday, not only did he get Chris Godwin involved with his 10 catches, but a lot of the tight ends and the backs and stuff got involved in the passing game. And I feel like, I don't know if it was the offensive coordinator or whatever, but he was in a real good rhythm yesterday. And I feel like you can build off of something like that, especially on the road. If you could do that on the road, you could definitely do that in Ray J. That's how I look at it.
All right, next question. Where do you stand on Baker? Are you ready to re-sign him, or are you going to play this out? And then where do you stand also on Todd Bowles at this point?
Okay, as far as Baker, I'll say this. I'm a pretty tough grader.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's done a pretty good job, but the test ain't over yet.
Okay.
What I mean by that is, we are at the most critical time of the season right now. It's like we need every single win we can get. And if he has the ability to lead us into the playoffs, I don't see how you don't bring him back. That's just me.
Okay. Same thing go with Todd Bowles?
I agree.
Absolutely. I mean, if he can get us, and it's just like y'all was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard Bucs fan. We've had a lot of losing seasons. You know what I'm saying? Not making the playoffs. I feel like if we could get this division title, that's building momentum into the season going into next year, no matter what we do in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I hope we go to the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong. I'm a diehard Bucs fan. I want us to win and everything. But I would consider his tenure this year a failure if he got us to the playoffs. I think that's huge if he can get us to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to win in this league.
Yes.
And if he can keep the ship going, keep that train going, man, and keep him. You know what I'm saying? There's too much bad coaching going on in this league. I mean, you saw what happened last week with the Chargers, 63 points. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Ray, bring that rooster home.
That we ain't doing, be thankful.
I'm gonna cook that rooster. Hey guys, I got to give you a little reporting on the ground here. I'm gonna have to go. Jamal, I wanted to say hi to you, bro, but the way
are you on Animal Farm? I mean, what are you doing?
No, bro, seriously, man. This Wawa has
Hold on.
every animal there is in the world.
But
over
here's
there.
the thing: the way I've been holding my phone is people are pulling up. They think
Ray's gonna go interview the rooster here.
Well,
this is gonna be
guys. The way I'm holding my phone, they think that I'm sitting here filming the Roosters, but I'm having a conversation with some dudes about ball. So hold on a second. Let's see what this guy says.
All right. Yes, Trevor, go ahead. You're still on the line here. All right, let's go out to the rooster. Well, the rooster have dead air. Can you say something?
Well, that was his wife.
There you go.
Actually, the rooster said cock-a-doodle-doo, but his wife said any cockle.
Any cockle. See, that's why you're there, Ray.
Jay, Jamal, thank you for that moment, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, there you go.
Peter.
Tampa Bay Ray right there. He's out of here. Trevor, go ahead and finish up, and then we'll get you out of here, Harry. Go ahead.
Oh, all I was going to say is, bottom line, if we can continue to win, I think both of them deserve another year here to see what they can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're winning, to me, it's like you keep that thing going. You don't blow things up just because it's not the style in which you would like it to be. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get caught up in that. It's like, yo, we winning. You know what I mean? That's winning is the only style I care about. So
exactly.
That's how I look at it.
All right, good stuff there.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Appreciate the call. Use that second call anytime here. Once
y'all
again,
have a good evening.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
You too, Trevor.
Calling in. Harry, go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution as we get you out of here for the night.
Man, thank you so much for having me on. Peter.
Yes.
We didn't have an argument tonight. You know why? My man Jay Buc was on here with us tonight. That's pretty good. Jay Buc, you haven't seen anything. Anyway, you can catch me live right here Monday and Wednesdays, right here live on the Sports Web. Maybe in the next couple of weeks I'll start giving some picks up. You never know.
Please.
To my fellow Greekites out there, much love. Jay Buc, keeping it real. Thanks for keeping it 100, little brother. And we'll catch y'all later, okay?
My pleasure.
All right, good stuff. Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire here of the Sports Web. Let's go out to the phone lines. Let's go out to Alex. Alex, you're on with yours truly, along with Mr. Jay Buc himself.
Yes. First and foremost, congratulations, bro. I saw you on TV yesterday. I was like, God, is that man? I felt jealous as shit, man. But no, I'm very happy. I'm very happy for you, man. I really am happy for you. I'm glad you got that ball from Mike Evans. I assume you got to keep it, right?
Yes, I was able to keep it. It's right here.
There you go. There it is. Okay.
Well, listen, I just wanted to join you guys on the conversation about talking about Baker Mayfield, and I wanted to give a little bit more of my thoughts. I know I joined Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy yesterday, and I actually joined Peter yesterday a little bit too. But I think Baker has overall done an absolutely great job as well. If you started the season, you started the season 3-1. Guys were dropping balls. And as I told Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, or Ray, yesterday in his little show, the problem is I think Baker absolutely, win or lose, even if we lose out the rest of the season, I think Baker deserves the extension from this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. Because you have to look at
let me stop you right there. Let me stop you there. I gotta ask this because this conversation was going on. I'm gonna get also Jay Buc's input on this with Baker Mayfield. Harry says, $50 million possibly. I say 20 to 25, maybe at the most 30. Alex, if you're signing him to an extension, how much do you sign him to? And then Jay Buc, you can answer.
I want to hear his opinion first because I always like mine second. So I want to hear his opinion first.
All right, Jay Buc, what do you say for a Baker Mayfield extension if you re-sign him? 20, 25 million, 30 million? Where do you go with Baker?
I would say somewhere between 22 to 27 million, 2-3 year.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll put some guarantee on the front end of that contract. I could, depending on how he finished the rest of the year, I wouldn't hesitate to bring him back. It also wouldn't deter me from drafting a quarterback of the future, but I would not be opposed to Baker coming back 2 to 3 years just to see if he's able to continue to develop in his offense. So I wouldn't run from a 22 to I even go to say 22, 27 million a year. I wouldn't run from it. 2
Okay.
to 3 years.
All right, Alex, where do you stand on it?
I'm actually on board with him. I say 20 to 25 million.
Okay.
But if I'm going into the draft, I'm not really focused on quarterback as my number one option. I'm focused on maybe building around him. I think he does a great job. Maybe there's been times he's underthrown, overthrown a little bit. But of late, he's hitting his wide receivers on point. We're seeing that the last couple of weeks. Everybody's saying, well, he's only targeting Mike Evans. Well, he is, but you got to look at Chris Godwin too. He's approaching 1,000 yards too. So we're getting to the point that the chemistry is building. Baker Mayfield is starting to spread the ball. The team is building. So why start over at that main quarterback position when if I'm the Bucs, I'm going into the draft and I'm working on that offensive line. That offensive line needs help. Also, we need some better DBs. The defense has.
I agree.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I think, listen, it depends on what you're going to do in free agency because they may move on from the Carlton Davis contract. I think Carlton Davis can be a top 10 corner, but I also think it's been disappointing, whether it's injury, whether it's effort, whether it's inconsistency. Maybe it's Jamel Dean you move on from because you do have Zion McCollum, and you also have Christian Itzy in there, the young player, who they may want to get more time to. So you could definitely look at corner. It just depends, as always, on free agency. But I think you're exactly right. If Baker Mayfield is your guy, I think you avoid drafting a quarterback at least in the first round. Maybe get a second or third round guy. I don't think Penix is there. That would be the perfect guy in the second round if he dropped or late first round. But if you commit all that money to Baker Mayfield, you're going to build that interior line. As crazy as it sounds, if there's a tight end there like Bowers from Georgia, I know it didn't necessarily work out with O.J. Howard. I wanted Dalvin Cook, but let's say Bowers is there. It's a tight end. Maybe you upgrade that situation. Interior line, depending on if Mike Evans is here or not. I know, Jay Buc, you hate to hear that, but maybe you address the wide receiving position. You could also get an edge rusher because, Shaq Barrett, I love him, but he's not showing up this year, and he's getting up there in age, and you need to rush the passer, and JTS just isn't it. Yaya Diaby is, so you need another book in there. You could go in that direction. Let me ask you this, Alex. How confident are you in this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team going forward? Of course, playing the Jaguars on Sunday, the Saints, and the Panthers.
Yes. So if I'm the Bucs and I'm looking at the Jags, I never go beyond our next opponent. So if I'm the Bucs, I'm confident going to the fact that we just won 2 back-to-back wins, and the Jags are struggling right now. They just lost to the Ravens pretty bad. Was it late last night?
Yeah.
So if I'm the Jags, if I'm the Bucs, I'm going into this game Sunday, very confident of what we saw on Sunday. But you got to keep the momentum. Also, 2 more things before I get out of here, guys. And guys, thank you guys as always for having me.
Yeah.
I do have a question. So going back to everything I said, if I'm going into the off season, I'm addressing 3 things.
Okay.
Number 1, this is regardless of what happens this season or not. I'm signing Baker Mayfield. I am not letting Mike Evans walk. I don't care what anybody says. You don't let Mike Evans walk. That man has sacrificed so much for this franchise, for this community over all these years. I'm going to do everything I can to keep Mike Evans. Also, talking about what is your guys' opinions. I don't know if I got to this yesterday, and I can also get Jay Buc's opinion too. What is your guys' opinion on Todd Bowles, or what is the story on Devin White not playing yesterday?
I think he's quit on this team, and I think
Absolutely.
Todd Bowles.
I think so too.
I think Todd Bowles is covering for him. Jay Buc, I mean, where do you stand on this? It certainly seems like maybe White is seen as his last days in a Tampa Bay uniform. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be shocked if he dress up in another Bucs uniform. It's I think the writing is on the wall, and it's unfortunate, but I strongly believe we're at that point as it pertains to Devin White.
And I think, you've gone to that point is because of the offseason on top of it. The effort hasn't been there. I get it. He may be dealing with an injury, and he very well may be dealing with an injury right now, and that's why he's not playing well. But also, you haven't seen the progression. It's been more regression since that postseason. And then furthermore, you're not going to give him $100 million, guys. You're not going to give him $18 to $20 million. He doesn't deserve it. He hasn't played up to that. If he played up to it, fine. The Bucs would make it happen. And then furthermore, you got Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield Jr., and then Mike Evans and possibly Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's your money right there. And then also you want to free up some money because you want to improve this team. You don't want to be, on the sidelines like you were this year. You want to improve this team, especially if you have a chance to win this NFC South. And let's face it, guys, this division is not getting any better. And maybe the Bucs have a chance to get better next year. What else, Alex?
And guys, and just a couple more things before I go. I haven't been able to commend Todd Bowles for a lot of things this year because, I don't really like the decision of him being head coach this year just because I just don't see the passion in him on a sideline as a head coach. But I got to say, I don't know the story behind Devin White, but I got to say that's one of the best things he has done if that story is true. A lot of people are saying speculation that he was out before because of injury. A lot of people are saying because Todd Bowles just decided not to play him. Well, regardless, the defense is already struggling in many areas, as we know.
Yeah.
Cannot put a bad attitude in a guy that doesn't want to play and that toxic attitude in a already struggling defense. I got to say, if that is true, what Todd Bowles did, that's probably one of the best things I will commend him doing this year. Because I haven't really been able to compliment a lot of things about Todd Bowles this year, just because I just don't see his passion. I don't hate Todd Bowles. I think he's a great DC, but I just don't see Todd Bowles as a good head coach. Now, granted, the team's playing good. I don't know what's going on in the locker room. Maybe we've flipped the script a little bit and playing some good football. But it's been great to see. It's been great to see the Bucs come around. But going into your last question, Peter, I'm very confident going into this week against the Jags. I think if I'm the Bucs right now, I'm looking very high about our third win this week, our third win in a row.
Yeah, fourth win.
And the Jags have just lost their third in a row. They're struggling. They're going down. And if I'm the Bucs, I want to keep that momentum, and I'm going to keep doing the best I can. And last but not least, I stand by what I said about what you should do on the off season, regardless of what happens. Re-sign Baker, re-sign Baker, re-sign Mike Evans, start from there, fix your DBs or get some DBs back there and get your offensive line. And I promise you, I really do think, and maybe, no offense, but maybe a different head coach. But
well, I tell you right now, Todd Bowles runs the table, like you're saying, with confidence here, and they win the division.
He will be back.
He'll be back because that's improvement over last year. And I get it. People want to go and fire the coach, and I don't want to go there again. I'm kind of like, I'm sick of that. I'm kind of sick of the rinse and repeat unless there's no improvement from last year. And I feel like there is improvement from last year. And look, you could say whatever you want to about Todd Bowles and the emotion, but still that locker room was playing for him. They haven't given up. They haven't been blown out. And then furthermore, yeah, he has some problems with timeouts, but guess what, guys? He called 2 before halftime yesterday. So maybe he's coming around there. Alex, appreciate it as always. Yes.
One more thing.
Yes.
One more thing
Alex.
before I go.
Yes.
Can we give one coach a shout out before we go?
Sure.
Can we give Dave Canales a shout out for putting that best offensive?
Absolutely. I met the guy a couple of weeks ago before the Houston game. Guess what? They scored 37 and still lost. So yeah, maybe there's some.
You guys admit that was probably the best offensive game we've seen all season?
Yes. By far. But it was right, because it wasn't because, and thanks a lot, Alex, for the call. Appreciate your open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. For me, looking at that game yesterday with Baker start going 7 for 7, they got him comfortable. They didn't come out and just run the ball on first down up the gut, 2 yards in a cloud of dust. They came out, They threw the ball. They threw the ball to Chris Godwin in the slot. They got Baker comfortable, and that basically snowballed in my Jay Buc. Yeah. Oh no, I said it. For me, it's snowballed. So it got better from there.
I'm agreeing with you.
Oh,
I'm agreeing 100% with you.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and read these comments, and then if you want to get out of here or you want to promote yourself, we can go ahead. In fact, you've been on here for about an hour. Go ahead and promote yourself once again, Jay Buc, and I'll get you out of here for the night, my friend.
I mean, again, it's your boy Jay Buc 525, aka Jay Boogie. You can find me on Facebook, Jay Buc 525, Instagram Jay Buc 525, Twitter Jay Buc 525. I'll be at the game Sunday. I'll be at the game next week. I'll also be in Carolina. So hey, you all know how to find me. Again, shouts out to the Sports Web. Shouts out to my brother Peter Blake, and hey, shouts out to every Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan in the vicinity. Right now I'm feeling good about our team. We sitting 7-7. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about this. So hey, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We got to get your other guy on there, Franco.
Oh, yeah, we got to get Franco. Frankie, baby. That's my brother. That's my blood. Yeah, we got to get him on here too, man.
I did not know that, but we got to get him on here. I always see you guys together doing that Victory Monday. He's definitely a better singer than I am, so we definitely want to work on that. Don't be a stranger on the Evolution. You're always welcome here, Jay Buc.
Well, yeah. Peter, you one of my influencers. Anytime you ever invite me, I'm here. I'm gonna make it happen for you.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it maybe every Monday. Fan experience here. Get Jay Buc on here and see what he says and keep it real and keep it like you always do here on the Evolution. All right.
Let's do it.
All right, there you go. Jay Buc right there in the building. In fact, I want to ask him one more final question. When I got the Rolex from Jake Paul, everybody was saying you should sell that Rolex. Now, of course, my mentor told me not to ever sell that Rolex. Don't ever sell that Rolex. Would there be any opportunity if somebody offered you an obscene amount of money that you would sell that ball? Yes or no? Why or why not?
No. It's easier for me to say this now, because I'm not in this. I'm not in that predicament. I will say for me, the memories is no price on the memory.
Right.
It's no price on the feeling that I have for the Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization. It's no price of what of my wide receiver, Mike Evans, arguably my favorite Tampa Bay Buccaneer of all time. So right now I'm going to say no, there's no price on it. However, until that situation, had to our face with it, I get hate. I'm a Kanye West. I guess we'll never know.
All right, there you go. Jay Buc, honest answer here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. We'll see you soon, my friend. Enjoy that ball.
Hey, man. Go Bucs. Thank you, Pete.
Go Bucs. Absolutely. Yes. There we go right there, my friend. Jay Buc. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We'll read the comments from the webheads. We'll hear from Baker Mayfield. And we'll continue to talk Bucs football. And the question for the night, how confident are you, Bucs fans, in this team going forward versus the Jacksonville Jaguars on Christmas Eve, which, by the way, we'll have you covered there for your post-game edition. Live on the field, the only streaming show that's live at Raymond James Stadium after the game to take your phone calls, your reactions. Confident against the Saints on New Year's Eve. And, of course, the Carolina Panthers. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Go out to the comments. What's up, Peter Blake? What's going on? Sitting first and go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to Sitting. We look good yesterday. Absolutely. KR says I'm down for another year of Baker in the Bay. How about y'all? Absolutely. I think you still have to see some things, but I'm definitely buying into it. And it's not necessarily because of the statistics. It's because of the moxie. It's because he wants to. He's giving everything he can at that quarterback position for this team to win. When it comes to third downs, when it comes to completing big third down conversions, big fourth down conversions, he's the man on the spot. Christopher Cole, Victory Monday. Absolutely. It's Victory Monday. We just got back from Green Bay. What a great trip. Rob, Crew Live, thank you very much. We got to get you on there, promote a great event that you do there at Riveters. Love it. Let's go out to Braun. Victory Monday. Great game, Baker. Best game he's ever played. Looking more like it. Love it out there. Let's go out to Andy. Thanks a lot for tuning in. It is because the offense is getting healthier. Maybe. Absolutely. Offense is getting healthier. Offensive line is starting to gel. And this offensive coordinator is starting to get more comfortable. There you go. Glenn, it takes time to click. Absolutely, Kathy. Thanks a lot for the comment. The running game has improved. Absolutely, Braun. Of course, yes, but I keep hearing each week about Mike's hamstring, Godwin's knee, Baker's knee, etc. Andy says everyone just appeared to move better than I expected yesterday, especially Godwin, as he was, a game-time decision. He still came out and had one of his biggest games of the year. Tremendous. As long as we can run the ball, the passing game will open up. Great stuff, Ron. I agree with the Greek on Baker. Michael says no way Baker will get like 15 a year for 2 years, okay? And maybe 20. I think it's more 20, but 15 a year. There you go. The defense is still a concern. Definitely think it's a concern. Laugh out loud at the Greek. Kathy says not $50 million. He loves Tampa. He doesn't seem that greedy. And, of course, it always goes back to quarterbacks and market. If you sign that big-time deal, then it's going to hinder the franchise from going out there and being able to sign players to help you out. So I don't necessarily think Baker is going to take, even if he were offered $50 million, maybe it's easy for me to say, but I think he's an intelligent enough quarterback to understand that if you take that big-time contract, that basically you're not going to be able to sign anybody after that. Is Peter going to put ketchup on Christmas ham? No, don't do that. Jason Powers on Sports Podcast, may have him on Wednesday. There isn't a chance in hell he gets more than 3 years and $60 million. I completely agree with you. Yeah. Let's go out to Andy Davis, overrated. Michael, Jason Powers, there's still too much. I say around 15 a year. Harbaugh's going to Chicago next year. I'm trying to think of his name. I can't pronounce his name. Isn't the head coach. 3 double-digit blown losses in the fourth is almost impossible for a defensive-minded coach. That does not look good at all. Those teams don't have Baker and Evans. Andy, again, oops, I meant Evans and Godwin. You're right. Michael says, we the fans want the gold jacket. Kathy says, John Lynch. Yes, absolutely. He left for greener pastures when the Bucs decided to go young, and it blew up in their face. It wasn't necessarily the best move because Lynch was playing at a high level, led that defense, the Denver Broncos, to the AFC Championship, I believe against, was it against the Pittsburgh Steelers or was it against, I believe it was against the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Patriots. They didn't get to the Super Bowl, but he was definitely a part of that defense. Baker made the cheeseheads go postal. Love it. Camarelli, wives, shut up. Come on now. With Mike, he's renegotiated so many times to get other talent here that he deserves the Glazers to pay him back. Is that money really there? I think the money's there. I think you're in a better cap situation next year, Stash. So thanks a lot, as always, for the comment.
Flawless victory.
Right there. Andy says, I'm not sure anyone had faith that Lynch could deal with the neck and nerve pain and still play at an expected level. You're exactly right. That was the reason why the Bucs decided to move on, because of the neck injury. They wanted to go younger, but it doesn't always work out that way. I agree, Peter. Blessing in disguise. Thank you, Kathy. I love it. I get it. There's a distraction to it, but has that offense been a lot better with Chris Godwin? Are you a better offense with just Mike Evans or Chris Godwin? What makes this offense so devastating? So hats off to her. And, hats off for Chris Godwin going to the coaching staff if that's what happened. If that's what transpired, good. Because this may have saved the season. This may have turned around the season with that. Godwin, we got Godwin here. Absolutely. Jason Powers says a 3 year, $72 million, $45 million guaranteed. I like it. Yeah! Let's go out to Camareri here. Put Gruden back in the Ring of Honor. I told you that's not going to happen. Shut her up. No. It figures that I buy a Devin White jersey last season and now he's tanking. I agree. Christopher Cole, MJD, was asked by Chris Rose about the Bucs re-signing Baker, and he said, do what you want, Evans or Baker, because our cap issue, if he did any research, he would know that we got a lot coming off the books. Exactly. That's the problem with national media. Nothing against them. They get paid lots of money to do what they do, but do your research on this. It's not going to be such a bad cap situation as it was this year because you're paying all that debt back for Brady. Yes, Mike will be back for sure. Andy says we need Ryan Jensen back out there. No word, Andy, if he's going to come back or not. Most likely, everybody's saying his career is over. We'll see, but it doesn't necessarily look good. The whole team except David and Wirfs can go. Keep Evans. Michael, I'm not ready to say that. I think there's definitely some good pieces on this team. Running a good production board director. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Yeah. I am the director. Phil says Richard Sherman was on the Pat McAfee show, said differently. There you go. I got to see more from Baker, but if he keeps playing like that, I would say 2 years, $18 million with incentives to get to $20 million. I think that's fair. Phil says, I believe Sherm 100%. Camerari, Winston not doing well. Yes, he's a backup quarterback. Can't blame him for not wanting to rotate. It looks like Bowles might save his job. Absolutely, Ralph. Oh, my God, Canales should have known better. Everyone watches film, and they need to change it up. It's a great point, Kathy, but it also takes, an offensive coordinator to get kind of comfortable because he's never called plays in this league. And then furthermore, not only do you have to get comfortable in calling those plays, but also those players that you're calling them for also have to get comfortable. And that situational football is the most important thing. Great comment, as always. Let's go on to Braun here. I was there in Philly when we beat them. All right, good stuff. Phil says, Bulls is soft, but I finally saw some slight emotion on the sideline from him in that big win. I think if we buy into Baker, you got to buy into the Canales and Bulls. And I can't believe I'm saying that. But you know what? You have to buy them because if this offense starts to come around, which it is, and this defense just does just enough, and you start to run the table, and you're the hottest team going into the postseason, guess what, guys? You are the most dangerous team in the postseason, and you maybe can cause some havoc there. Let me go out to Craig Kurtzman. Boogie, yes, he was on with us. Yeah. Did a great job as always. Love to hear the story. Be proud of what you are. Be yourself. Absolutely. I told him. When you want to start out in radio, be yourself. Be who you want to be. If that's who you want to be, if you want to be straight up, if you want to tell it like it is, that's who you're going to be. Don't be anybody else. When you get on this mic, when you get on this camera, you own it. This is yours. This is your brand. This is your face. This is what you want to do. If you don't want to take phone calls, don't take phone calls. You don't want to read comments, don't read comments. Stare at the camera, talk to yourself. Me, I like to interact. I like to talk with my hands. I like to have emotion. I like to do 3 things on this show, as I always say here on a Monday, Wednesday night. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. What's up, Jay Buc? Absolutely. 3 years, $100 million is the market right now. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get, I definitely don't think he's going to get that. But Andy says, geez, he's only 10 years older than me. Kathy says, love Derek. Absolutely. How do you not love Derek? Who's my favorite player? Mr. Derek Brooks. Met Derek, sweet, humble man. Absolutely. Jason, great show tonight. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Let's go out to Andy. Who's our favorite player? Mr. Derek Brooks. Ralph, I don't know what that is. Thank you for sending it, though. Andy, his knee is destroyed. He is not coming back. I completely agree with you, Mike COC. I talked with Rock Riley in the Cleveland airport, leaving from the Hall of Fame, seeing Rondé go in. Rock's a great guy. And I laugh at Rock all the time in the press box. We talk about sports. We talk about, how we've crossed in our lives. It's good stuff with Rock. That's why I love having him on there. We got to have him more on the evolution of sports talk television. Would love to see Baker with some stability around him. He's never had that in his career, which has limited his ceiling. We really don't know what his ceiling is. Joshua, great comment. And I'll tell you right now, a lot of people say, well, he's been team after team after team. He's been with the Browns. He's been with Carolina. He's been with the Rams, and now he's with the Bucs. Why? Well, when you change a coach every 2 to 3 years, you change the offensive system every 2 to 3 years, you change this and change that. You've got to have stability if you're going to have a franchise quarterback. Plus, it hinders that development of a young quarterback. It's not good. You gotta have stability to it. Dave says Jay Buc got the special touchdown ball. That's Mike's 30th of all time touchdown list ball. Absolutely. And of course, 92nd of all time, tying Rob Gronkowski and Devontae Adams. Good stuff. Dave Evans, class all around. Love it. Eric, 30 touchdowns. He's like 12th. Mike is a Buck treasure. Pay that man, class act. LaWanda James, exactly. Mike COC, need a commercial on this. Absolutely. Make a commercial. Sounds good. Braun, yes, Mike is truly worthy every dime. He's a man amongst the men, a true class act. The Pewtercast, what did the security guard say to you? Was he trying to take the ball or make sure you weren't? We went through that, Pewtercast. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines using his second call tonight. Damn it, Jim. Welcome back to the Sports Web. What's on your mind?
Hey, so, I'm win no matter what. So, when we make it to the playoffs, the old Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how far do you think we're going to be able to make it in there?
I mean, I think, look, if you face Philly and the way Philly's playing right now and Jalen Hurts is actually hurt, you see that direction of that team. I think Tampa Bay can maybe pull off an upset if they're at home. I do. I think they can. So maybe the first round, maybe one game, and then after that, you get to the second round and maybe you get bounced. You just never know. You just got to get in. That's it. And the style of football right now, what they're playing, I really like it. It's not about Baker Mayfield having the perfect game. It's about the balance of this offense with running the ball, with opening up those deep shots with those wide receivers, and your defense causing turnovers and playing good enough. They still give up too many yards. You're still giving up too many big plays, and you're not having enough sacks. But that defense can come around here. I have some high expectations for this team going forward. I do.
Who will we have to play second round if we made it?
Well, probably the top highest seed. So it most likely be the San Francisco 49ers. That's most likely who it's going to be.
On our side. Yeah.
Yep. That's who it's going to be probably. Or the Dallas Cowboys, because they are most likely will win the NFC East. But don't tell anybody about the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. I mean, they just look like garbage against the Buffalo Bills.
I'd like to play the Dallas Cowgirls. Yes, I would.
Well, there you go. You may get your wish. You may get your wish in the first round. We'll see. What else, Jim?
Man, I was just we can keep on winning, and let's see. We worry about these. Keeping the coach or keeping the quarterback. I think the quarterback and the coach is married to each other. Man, they talk about them about the same. Baker Mayfield washed up. The coach, and he don't hoorah.
Well, Baker's an emotional guy. I think there's a lot of fans out there that like to see Todd Bowles be a little bit more emotional. But you know what? This team is playing for him. Still, they're showing emotion. They're not giving up. Todd Bowles is not giving up. So we'll see how it all transpires.
Baker showed the emotion for Todd Bowles.
He's showing all the emotion for this team. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, Jim. Thanks a lot for the call. Right. Appreciate you. Good stuff as always. Using his second call, open phone line if you want to get in. Talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers and that big win versus the Green Bay Packers. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Did he sign the ball? I don't think he signed. I don't know. That's a great question. We should have asked that. I don't know if he signed it or not. We'll have to have him back on there running the field. Scott says Jay Buc is treasured memory you always have. You got to freeze a frame picture of that and frame it on the wall. Was it resolved pretty quick or did it take time? Looked like they were still talking. Absolutely. We went through that. Payday. Yes. Dave. It's GD Mike Evans. No truer words spoken. Absolutely. Extra point attempt. And other people had jumped into the combo. Andy says good night and go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs. Let's go! I got them Bucs, baby. All right, Pewtercast 15 to 20 minutes. It was longer than that, Pewtercast. Dave says Green Bay fans are cool fans, at least the ones I've been around, not like Eagle fans. Yeah. Dave says Jay Buc, congrats on the ball. Ray Kennedy, the guys, best play, Bulls call, Devin White. Look, the other 52 in the room, no. Coach got this. LaWanda says, congrats, Jamal, Jay Buc Sanders. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Good stuff. Thank you. Dave, I want to know if Harry lost money on the Bucs. Most likely he did. Sorry about your luck. I think he did. I don't know. We have to ask him next time. Braun says the Eagle fans are the worst. I live in Philly. I went to the game when we beat them 2 years ago. I had 2 fights. Yeah, there's not a lot of Bucs fans at Veterans Stadium or at the Link, if you will. Aints, yes. Mike COC, screw the Saints and the fans. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go on to Dave. Hell yes. F the Saints. Jay Buc for president. Payday 39, F the Saints.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Carl says, Jay Buc, congrats. Thank you, Carl, for tuning in. The Aints fan base is why we dislike them so much as always. F the Saints.
Yeah!
Love it, guys. Braun says, Philly not looking good tonight. I don't know what the score is. Monday Night Football was on. Guess what? The Sports Web is on. I'm here hosting a show. We're on TikTok and also Instagram Live. Subscribe to all those. Also, tied it up. So keep me abreast of that situation. Mike COC beating them in New Orleans on their turf in 2020 was the most proudest moment. Was it not? Saints fans forget about that. They say, oh, we swept the Bucs and Tom Brady that year. Well, they forget about the divisional playoff. That was a beautiful Love it. Mike says, I remember passing out on my carpet from a bottle of Christian Brothers brandy. Okay, good stuff there. Mike, you drink a lot. That's okay, my friend. Drink in the safety of your own home. Definitely don't pass out anywhere else besides your home. Winfield, absolutely. Scott, things of a need defensive tackle next to Vita, another safety, guard, center. But if one of those quarterbacks falls to us hard, pass one of them up. I'm going to go with Kalijah Kancey as their defensive tackle there. And then you're going to go with Yaya Diaby. And then who's on the other side? Is it Shaq Barrett? Is it JTS? Or is it somebody else? I think you go in that direction. Mike COC, laugh out loud. Jay Buc, thanks a lot, Trevor, for calling in. Michael Catone is watching. Laugh out loud. Mike COC seeing the groupies. Mike, I call them the ass rush. Okay. Dave says Levante is still better than White, even though he's not playing. Yes. Christopher Cole, top 10 in points allowed. Devin needs to get his ego in check, and then he might get his game going. Still trying to cash in from 2020. Dave says here he's cat. Christopher Cole should have traded Brady for Tua and 3 first-round picks. Listen, you heard what Bruce Arians was going to say. 5 first-round picks. It was never going to happen. Harry beating Green Bay, and Green Bay is a very tough task. That's why this was a big deal. Very tough place to play, especially when it's freezing. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate the comment.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go on to Scott again. Harry, this wouldn't be as big had we beaten them at home. Dave says Bucs fans need to fill Ray J when the Aints come to town, make it an actual hostile environment for the Aints. If I could be there, I would be. Let's flip the script.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to LaWanda. She says, go Bucs. Absolutely. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Dang, Lane Johnson just got rolled up on. That is a major loss for the Eagles. If that's bad, because they can't afford to lose a right tackle. That is one of the best offensive lines. Already Jalen Hurts is hurt. So now you lose Lane Johnson. Big time loss. Chiefs didn't have to tank to get Mahomes. Bucs had a number 1 pick, got Jameis. He's now a backup in New Orleans. You play to win. Let the chips fall where they may. Thank you very much, Dave. Appreciate you. Byron Moore says, Jay Buc, so happy for you again, brother. That was epic. Woo! All right, let's go on to Dave here. Ray with the rooster. Yeah, that was Ray. That was Ray by the rooster there. He had to go from Wawa. He was hanging out at Wawa, and there was a rooster sitting there making all kinds of friggin' noise. Keep Godwin in the slot. That's where he belongs. Agree, Dave. It's hard to find a quarterback, much less a winning quarterback, so Baker gets us to the playoffs. Then make it work, but along with Evan. Scott says that rooster will make a great soundbite, Peter H. Blake, when you have a bad caller. Absolutely would make a great soundbite. We have to get that. I know Ray's in Florida. I love my state. Roosters at Wawa. Yes. You got Tampa Bay Ray out on the street talking to drunk people and hanging out with roosters. I mean, it's more of a reason why you want to tune into the Evolution. Is it for Rock Riley? Is it for Leo Haggerty? Is it for Harry the Greek? Is it even for Tampa Bay Ray? No, it's for a rooster and drunk people. You got to love it. Mobile phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Jay Buc, you're coming to Charlotte on January 7th. We'll see. Have to ask him. Dean and CD3 have been injured so much, don't deserve to be paid over $20 million a year. Dave says, great show tonight, Peter. A lot of great conversation. Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Dave, for tuning in. Let me give you the air horn. Christopher Cole says, I used one of those corners, money and White, money to sign Baker and Evans. Certainly possible, Christopher. Let's face it, Bulls finally had to bench White. He's covered for White since 2021 because White is still living off that Super Bowl win, and I believe White was one of the players that Bulls still was saying was living off that Super Bowl win. I completely agree with you, Dave, on that. Jay Buc needs to be a regular on the show. Love the guy. We will see what we can do. Love to have fans. Love to have passionate Bucs fans. That's why we have this show in the first place for you guys. This is the cure. At night, when you're, watching a football team that you don't necessarily want to watch, you want to have Bucs conversation, a reaction show, a place where you feel comfortable, where if you call the phone line, I'm not going to leave you on hold forever, and I'm going to let you talk, and I'm not going to let you talk all night long, but I'll let you talk and say what you want to say and let you call in twice here on the Evolution. Blackie says, Peter Blake for head coach 24. Love it. Thank you, Blackie, right there. Good job. 6 go, Tampa Bay for life, Mr. Daniel Williams. Mr. Williams. Good job, 54. Good job, 31. Tampa Bay, 13 for life. Absolutely. Peter H. Blake, I've seen the Jenna Lane video of the Glazers congratulating the team on the win in Green Bay. And Devin White, totally avoiding them. White is gone. I think he's seen his best days here. I saw the video. I was trying to look for what you saw there. I don't know. I didn't see him congratulate them either. I didn't see it either. Jensen is rehabbing his knee, trying to come back and play. Dave says, let's face it, Baker was drafted by the Browns, who then shucked him for Watson after Baker took him to the playoffs. He was traded to that clown show with the Panthers, then went to the Rams, who would have kept him but didn't have the money to sign him, and they would have had the money to sign him back. Let's give Baker a 3-year deal. See where it goes. Good comment, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave killing it tonight with the comments. And if we play like we did against the Packers, then the Cowboys or the Eagles are toast. Let's go out to TikTok here. Eric Moreno says, what's up, Peter? Jay Buc is awesome. Let's go out to Instagram Live. Couple comments out there. DJ Coach Live says, I like Bowles as our defensive coordinator and bring Bruce Arians or hire Harbaugh. I don't think you're going to hire any of those guys unless you fire Todd Bowles. I think BA has kind of moved on at this point. He's allowed Todd Bowles to coach this team. Harbaugh looks like he's going to stay with Michigan. It looks like he's going to sign an extension, although there's going to be something in his contract that says he cannot talk to another NFL team if he wants that big-time extension from the Michigan Wolverines. Possibly bring Raheem Morris back. I don't know if they're going to do that. He will be a hot coaching commodity and the National Football League, most likely. And Mr. Zach Mitchell, we see teams that get hot at the right time. Heading into the playoffs are the dangerous team. Exactly.
Ooh, yeah.
Good stuff. Let's read this last comment for the night. Christopher Cole, Drew Lock just went down the field, got a clutch touchdown, 20-17 Seattle. So is Seattle winning that game right now? I'm going to go and turn that game on. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Like I Love St. Pete, of course, Bucs Life. Friend me at Peter H. Blake on Facebook. Nearly 7,000 followers here. Go and also subscribe to my Instagram right there, P Blake or P Blake 1003. Get on TikTok. You guys know where I'm at. We'll be back on Wednesday night. Thanks to Rock Riley, Harry the Greek, of course, Mr. Jay Buc, and Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. We'll do it. We'll get out of here for the night. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back on Wednesday night with the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty. Bad news today. Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Jaden Daniels is not going to play in the ReliQuest Bowl, but we will have you covered on that also. And, of course, tune in to the Evolution on Christmas Eve. What more do you want? You want Santa Claus coming down your chimney, or you want me reporting from Raymond James Stadium on Bucs versus the Jacksonville Jaguars? 3 things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay Sports Fan, it's your time. We'll see you soon on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Have a good night.